Tarmac Sports.
So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to round one of the 2019 British Drift Championship. You are joining us live here at Teeside Autodrome in Middlesbrough, and as you can see on the start line we have our top 32 qualifiers. Sarah, it was a heated qualifying session, some mixed scores, some very good drives. Your first qualifying session ever.
Yeah.
You enjoyed it? It was good fun?
Absolutely, it was amazing fun. I mean, the driving ability out there is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, these guys, look, that's just qualifying. That is just like the fundamental part of it. That we do that. That's like, get out of the way. Once that's done, that's done. We forget about that bit, because what happens now is these guys go door to door and they are going to battle 110%. The reason I say that qualifying doesn't really matter, it does matter. It's a big part of drifting. But for me personally, I've seen top 32 qualifiers knock out first place qualifiers and take the win at a championship. Just because a guy has a bad qualifying run doesn't mean he can't battle hard. So anybody now in the next couple of hours could take the win today here at round one. And as you can see, our start line, Marshall Melks, is going to just give the signal to Matt in the British Drift Championship van. He's going to come out. So ladies and gentlemen, as these guys come past you, I want to make you guys, I'm going to make some noise. I want you guys to make as much noise as possible and show your appreciation for your top 32. These guys have put blood, sweat and tears and hours and every single penny they've got to be here this weekend. Some of them, Sarah, didn't even make it out. We see heartbreak in the pits, cars breaking, borrowed cars. It's not easy. No, it's not. It's all been going on, hasn't it, this morning? We've got a bit of a bumper graveyard going on at the bottom of the track just here, so I think there'll be a few of them trying to get fixed back together. But yeah, I think these battles are going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be a very, very interesting afternoon. And like I say, some of these guys in brand new cars, some seasoned pros driving the same car they've driven for the last year or two, so they know where they're at. Guys like Paul Beachy jumping in their good friend's car, and he said to me a minute ago, "Don't tell Mike Wharton, but I'm going to stick it on the door." I mean, how could I not tell Mike Wharton, but only over the live feed? That's just kind of guy I am.
What a way for him to find out.
So ladies and gentlemen, as they come past you, please give them a round of applause. Please give them a cheer. These guys do all of this for your entertainment. Stand on the podium at the end of the weekend is just, you know, a little reward for them, but they do it for your entertainment. So show your appreciation for our top 32 drivers. That's it. That's what we like to see. You guys cheering, showing some encouragement. As you can see, Nick Brady qualifying, making it inside top 32. We have got a couple of buy runs. A couple of these guys haven't made it out on track. So a buy run, I'll quickly describe to you. You've probably never heard of a buy run, Sarah.
It's a little bit different in like rallycross, what I'm used to. Yeah. So
a buy run, basically a buy run is if, say, first place qualifier, we didn't have a 32 place car. So first place battles 32nd place all the way through. So second, 31st, third, 30th, and so on and so forth, all the way through to 16. A buy run will be if the 32nd place car or 33rd didn't make it. So first place qualifier might get a run on his own, no one to battle. So he's just got to put in a lap for the crowd, put on a show. He's automatically advanced through to the top 16. Top 16, grade 8, top 4, final. That'll be at 6 o'clock tonight. And I'll tell you what, some of these cars are going to be in bits, and there's going to be guys on the podium that are going to be absolutely ecstatic at how they've performed. As you can see, Darren Wiles making it out there, Willie Hanna, Nerigis topping it off. Stu Jones, Nash Jones, Josh King. And as I said, these guys just our Pro-Am drivers today here. We, of course, will have our Pro competition tomorrow at the same time. So if you're local, even if you're not local, if you're an hour away, I've got friends that have driven 4 hours. 4 hours today to come here and witness. That's commitment.
That's commitment.
I mean, I drove for 5 hours, but that's because I was working.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really count.
Yeah, well, I was the same. I
You
drove
was the
4
same.
hours to get here, but
Yeah,
technically I've had to come home
but
anyway.
You was
so.
driving a Rolls Royce all week.
Yeah, I can't grumble about it. It's a little bit different to this.
I was mega jealous.
A little bit different to this. Yeah.
Mega jealous.
Well, yeah.
Perks of the job and all that.
Perks of the job.
So these guys are just going to finish off their formation lap. They are in gridded order, so if you see these guys side by side, this is who they are going to battle. They're going to go hard. They're going to push each other around the circuit. And once the last cars go past, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to get back to the back of the grid, and then we will get ready to kick off our Top 32 competition. Our judges are ready in the house. Ben Manuel, Gaz Taylor, and our head judge for the 2019 British Championship will be Brad McQueen. So last cars are just making their way across the finish line. And then we are ready to get going. I just want to see some battles now.
Yeah,
I've seen the pros practicing. You guys, unfortunately, at home. See, another reason you stayed at home. You didn't see the pro.
Pros,
you missed the pro practice.
Yeah.
Those guys were going really hard. I
Yeah.
mean, Oliver Evans, VP Racing Fuels S14, little Welsh guy, tiny, handsome little man. Got in his car today and absolutely was flying.
Yeah, and that's only in practice as well. So imagine what they're going to bring tomorrow.
This is it. This is just practice. This isn't when it matters. This isn't when it matters. So, you know, this is it. Like, these guys are just doing that much, you know, hard work in practice. What are they going to be like in Top 32? A Top 4 competition. And, like, yeah, listen, we're running this track backwards. First time ever here at Teeside Autodrome.
Another reason for everyone to come back down.
Come down. We might never... This might be the only time that we get to do this.
And then you'll miss it if you're sat at home.
Exactly. You don't get the atmosphere.
You don't.
You can sit indoors, have a cup of tea and watch it with your feet up, but unfortunately you don't really get the, you know, you don't smell the tyre smoke, you don't get the buzz, and unfortunately you miss out on all the action.
That's
and
it.
you miss out on our trade village we've got here. We've got
Yeah.
the guys from Excite, all that going on. So we are, yeah, ready to go. We've got the guys down there with the RC drift cars as well.
Drift cars, they're awesome.
Everything's going on down there. So it looks like we are almost ready to head back to the start line. Right, so it does look like we have the ideal line graphic on the screen. Unfortunately, not on my screen. Not sure if it pops up onto the big screen here, but it should be showing you guys at home what the perfect qualifying line would be. So it shows. So yeah, for you guys in attendance and at home, I do believe you are seeing on screen the ideal line graphic. You can see the red line that denominates the perfect qualifying line. So that is the exact line that our head judge Brad McQueen was looking for. That, if you stuck to that 100%, that was what you was going to score you a 100-point run. Unfortunately, the closest we got was an 80. I think that was Luke Barker. Yeah, Luke Barker, the guy who I said
You said to watch
had
him,
a
didn't
creepy
you?
little bet on him.
Yeah.
Just if he lets me down, then I'm definitely.
We're going to have to
not
buy
gonna
you
talk to
the
him.
drinks if he lets you
Yeah,
down.
I'm going to be broke.
Yeah.
I'm going to be broke for the rest of the weekend. But yeah, he qualified in first place, and that guy, look, he was flying. He did very, very well last weekend. Ended up on the podium. Let's see how he gets on this weekend. So we're just waiting to get that graphic up on our screen, just so I can talk you guys through it at home. If you're sitting indoors and you can see it, then you're blessed with the modern technology. So there we go, the ideal line has popped up on your screen, and you can see the track being run backwards, so drivers initiating into clipping point 1. Now, our head judge, Brad McQueen, was saying that he didn't want to see, a big mangy or a big handbrake drag. It was just a nice little subtle flick into clipping point 1, carrying all the speed, which you did need to. You needed that commitment. Clipping point 2 is on a certain gradient, so you had to be committed to carry it up into that gradient, and then you was on a level playing field again.
It's catching a few people out, isn't it, that little bit of gradient?
Yeah, it certainly is, because it's slowing the car down massively, and then what it does is it washes the car away from clipping point 2.
Yeah.
And as you now know, being away from them clipping points is not where you need to be.
No, absolutely not.
Coming out of clipping point 2, full throttle transition into clipping point 3, and then it's full commitment. You need to stay absolutely flat on the throttle through clipping point 3 into a small deacceleration zone into clipping point 4, which is a full outer zone. You can completely fulfill that. Slight little bit of braking there. Judges saying they didn't want to see, cars anchoring up to a full stop. Just a, handbrake drag, little lock up of the front brakes into the outer zone 4. Transition through, enter the centre to clipping point 5, which is on the edge of the circuit. Again, an outer zone. But then it gets tricky. Clipping point 6 is on the middle of the apex, but it's kind of at a weird line. So you've got to come away from, I think we was calling it 6 earlier, I thought there was another clipping point out there. You have to come away from clipping point 5 kind of early. If you stayed on that arc, like you mentioned earlier, Sarah, it made you on a very strange line.
Yeah, it probably feels natural looking at the cars. That's the way they want to go. If you've got sort of full throttle round out of that clipping point, but actually you need to control it and bring it in.
Yeah, it's very strange. Like you've got to really drive the car, shallow off the angle, come away from clipping point 5 nice and early, get into 6, and then it's full throttle towards the wall. Which, as we spoke about earlier, isn't really something you kind of want to do. You don't want to drive your £100,000 race car towards a wall.
It's a little bit against your natural instinct.
It is against your natural instinct.
It's definitely a fight, that one.
Full throttle from clipping point 6 towards the wall, nice upshift, and then that's it, flat out, up the bank, nice and high, through clipping point 8 and across the line. And as easy as that, 100 points in the bag. Unfortunately, no one got to do it.
Easy peasy, yeah?
We might see that tomorrow. Like I will say, if you're local, get yourselves down. Tickets still available on the gate and online, I do believe. You're going to miss out if you don't make it down. The brand new merchandise, which the lovely Sarah is modelling today, a nice hoodie, nice woolly hat.
It's warm, this hat.
I turned down the hat and now I'm feeling cold, and I should have took the hat.
Yeah, you should have took the hat.
Should have took the hat.
Should have took the hat. My ears are lovely and toasty now.
So it does look like some of our drivers are ready. We are just waiting to get confirmation from our marshals and track manager if we can go to the start line and kick off here our top 32 battles. Yeah, give yourselves a wave. You see yourselves on the live feed camera. Give yourselves a wave.
There's a lot of fans out there with the merch on as well. They're all
Look, this is just a Saturday. This is a Saturday. Normally, what everyone does, what I've learned in the past, is they sit indoors on a Saturday and they scope it out. They're like, is it going to be any good? Is it going to rain? And then they wait till Sunday morning. They get up and they go, let's go.
Let's go.
But you know what? Massive props to everyone who come out this weekend to support this event. Coming out of your house, paying tickets, supporting UK Drifting. Without you guys and all of our sponsors, we wouldn't have been able to put on this event. So a huge thank you to Competition Clutch, Samco Sport, Corbeau, M-Tech Brakes, Hell Performance, OBP Motorsport, Funk Motorsport, Slide Motorsport, Tarmac Sports, Simpson Europe, On It, Drift Games, AM Details, Yellow Speed Racing and XI Energy. And if you haven't been into our little trade village, get yourself down there. We've got a simulator.
I've missed that as well.
We missed it. We had lunch and we forgot all about it.
We
we
were
chilled
too busy
out and
munching.
We was too busy eating. We was too busy eating. We should have gone down there. I'm going to get down there after and get a little cheeky lap in on the simulator. Apparently it's a rallycross car as well, so we can go head to head and see who is the better driver, right?
That is my comfort zone.
And I will win.
I'm going to have you there.
No, I'll win.
No.
Definitely win.
Definitely not.
Well, we'll see. We'll have to battle this out. There's a bet we can make. Look, my bet's on the line right now. As you can see at home and you guys in attendance, warming up their tyres, it will be Luke Barker and Danny McGuire. Now, Danny McGuire failed to make qualifying. But because we only have a top 32 cars, Danny McGuire managed to fix his car and get out for the top 32 battles. So even though he didn't put in a qualifying run, we're still going to allow him to drive because we've literally got just 32 drivers. So Danny McGuire scraped the barrel.
He's a lucky boy this morning.
And got himself into the show. So there you go, Danny McGuire gets called to the line alongside Luke Barker. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the 350Z of Luke Barker is the man that everyone is talking about right now. Can Danny McGuire be the man that stops him dead in his tracks, or will the R34 Nissan Skyline and McGuire stop him from achieving that? Will it let him down one more time? Well, we're about to find out. Off the line, it will be Barker to lead out McGuire for a spot in the top 16. And problems for McGuire straight away. And problems for Danny McGuire straight away as Luke Barker absolutely flies through that outer zone 4 and into 5. Sets himself up perfectly for the wall. and drives away with it. That's going to be a huge advantage. Unfortunately for Danny McGuire, that car again throwing up a few issues.
It's a shame he's had those issues there, but again, Barker's just flying as usual, so living up to his reputation.
So much talent.
Yeah,
so much
really
talent
does.
in that young guy. So I do believe we will be seeing a replay of that run, potentially. So there we go, just going to see a quick replay. You guys in attendance can see it on the big screen. Luke Barker absolutely flying there, but Danny McGuire looks like he either had a missed shift or that clutch still not working 100%. Didn't manage to get on the back bumper. Judge is saying that once the lead car comes through that chicane, the chase car needs to get straight onto the back bumper, tag on the back bumper, nice flick across the track. As soon as the lead car initiates, chase car should be straight onto the door on door, chase around the track. As easy as that, right?
Easy again, yeah.
Easy again.
From our seat, it's really easy, isn't it?
I could win. I could win this hands down sitting up here in this tower.
Go on then.
They're back on the they're back on the line, and it now will be Danny McGuire's opportunity to lead out Luke Barker for a spot in top 16. Start line Melks looks to our track manager for his thumbs up. So our track marshal just getting ever so slightly caught up there. And they do finally get almost contact there as they come through the chicane. Look at Luke Barker though, right on the back bumper. This guy deadly behind the wheel. But a little bit of an error there for Luke Barker, as he held off ever so slightly now. Starts to make the dive, and a big mistake there for Danny McGuire as he has to get back into it. Coming out 4, nice dive onto the door. Goes Luke Barker. Luke Barker starts to apply the pressure now as McGuire has to correct again, gets into the bank, but Barker is all over the side of McGuire, starting to apply the pressure once more. A little wobble from Barker again. Not the cleanest of battles, but...
It wasn't, but it was entertaining, wasn't it? I bet the crowd were loving that one.
Very, very entertaining.
The judges were loving it. We've got some clapping going on at the top here, so they're obviously loving it.
Very, very entertaining. You know what, for me, Danny McGuire, an injured, he's like an injured gazelle out there. He's got a damaged car, he's got a broken leg, he's dragging himself around the track. You can see on the replay here, look at Luke Barker, serious aggression from initiation. But Danny McGuire, very good job. You can see there Luke Barker was on the middle of the circuit there, quite an error. He does the same sort of thing again. McGuire, though, mistake there as he comes into outer zone 4. Nice dive onto the door, though, there from Luke Barker, but has to slow it up, and that kind of messes him up a little bit right here. Look, he finds himself caught up. McGuire again caught up, maybe a gear shift issue, potentially again.
It kind of killed his momentum a little bit, didn't it?
And then there's a big wobble there from Barker, though. He kind of like, he wants to get on the door, but either doesn't want to make the dive and make the commitment, and kind of hangs out of it. So it does look like we have a decision, and ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, going through to the top 16 is Luke Barker. Luke Barker advances through to the top 16. Unfortunately, Danny McGuire's weekend not been fruitful. Fingers crossed he can get himself back together and the car fixed for round 2. And we move it along to the next battle of the day. It will be Davidas Petroukas to take on Paul Beachy. Now, Paul Beachy in a borrowed car from Mike Walton, and he said he's going to send it onto the door.
He did promise that, didn't he?
Yeah, so if Mike Walton's watching, like I advised earlier,
don't watch.
Don't watch.
Yeah,
just don't look, because you could be up all night fixing your own car. And it will be a Davidas to lead out Beachy, as Beachy in that chase position, and the tail lights removed off that car. But now Beachy finds himself stuck behind as Davidas Petroukas absolutely flies ahead. Beachy sacrificing line to try and gain some proximity, but Davidas absolutely flying that E46, and Beachy potentially put a spin in. Not sure what happened there as he completely shut the car down. Just looking to our judges to find out exactly what went on there. Couldn't see, got a little bit lost in the smoke there from Davidas. So we're going to see a quick replay of what exactly happened there. Full commitment from Davidas, absolutely flying in that lead position. Beachy gets left behind, tries to play catch up, but you can see Davidas there not on the perfect line, not nice and wide. What happens to Beachy here though? Does he put it into a spin? Looks like he puts it into a spin or makes a huge error, so has to get back into it again. And Davidas there absolutely drives away, and again a massive error there for Beachy. Not the best chase from.
No, unfortunately, but he was carrying some good speed through there, so let's see. what happens in the next one.
Yeah, let's see what happens. He's now got to swap it around, and it will be Paul Beachy's opportunity to lead out Devidas. Now Devidas he knows that Beachy's not really at his finest at the moment, so he's going to be hunting him down, seeing exactly what he's got.
Yeah, he's going to be putting the pressure on definitely in this one.
Exactly. But it gives him a little bit of room now. Devidas not on that perfect line. Oh, Beachy shuts it down. And this is scrappy from Paul Beachy in that lead position, but to be expected in a borrowed car as Devidas gives him all the room he needs to make the errors as they bring it across the line. Pretty simple one there. And we await for it to appear on our screen. Who will be taking it through to the top 16? Will it be Beachy or will it be Devidas? Okay, confirmed, taking the win will be Devidas Pastrukas to take it through to the top 16. No need to go to our judges for that one for an explanation. We're only going to jump to our judges for an explanation if it's a really tough battle. You know, if these guys went head to head 2 or 3 times, or there was something that we didn't see, or you know.
Yeah. If it's something that's not so obvious to
exactly.
the spectators.
If it's pretty clear cut, then no need to go to it, and we'll leave them guys alone because they've got enough on their plate already.
They're busy.
They're grumpy.
They're busy and grumpy.
Grumpy, giving out low scores. So up next will be Carl Farrar to take on Dan Ball. Now Dan Ball driving that LSX powered S15. Having some issues in qualifying, not managing to really get that car to do exactly what it wanted to do, but Carl Farrar nevertheless put on a bit of a show and looks comfortable. He's been driving that car for a few years now, so again another driver that's really gelled with the car. You know, it's like driving your own car every day.
Yeah, he's got the seat time in, so obviously he knows his car well, knows how it handles. Pays off a lot, doesn't it, in this kind of thing?
Exactly. Yeah. The seat time is the king.
Yeah.
You know, seat time is king over anything else. Being in the car, driving it every weekend, every time you can, is just paramount. Carl Farrar knows that, and hence why he's in the lead position. So Farrar to lead out Ball for a spot in top 16. Oh, and Dan Ball gets caught behind as Farrar fires into clipping point. 2 nice and wide through 3. Dan Ball on a pretty good line, but no proximity whatsoever, and Dan Ball left standing behind Carl Farrar. Now trying to play catch up as Carl Farrar stands on the accelerator and shifts up a gear in that JZ powered Mazda RX-8 and absolutely pulls away from the V8 S15 of Dan Ball.
So does he have more power then? Is that why he's pulling away, or is it just his driving style?
I think it's his driving style. You know, he's used to driving the car. Carl Farrar, like I say, he's a rock star, apparently. Apparently. I mean, I don't know this. I don't know if this is true. But yeah, he's a rock star of BDC. He's a very good driver. He's been in that car for a long, long time now, and he knows it like the back of his hand. So for him, he knows where to put it. He knows what kind of grip he wants. He's running on semi-slick tyres like most of the grid are. Dan Ball, this is a new build. He literally piloted it for the first time this year. He's still getting used to it. The car's got masses of power, and I think for me, Dan Ball just didn't have enough grip, you know, for the amount of power, and he kind of, yeah, it makes tons of smoke, but then he's not using the grip that's in the chassis. He's not being able to catch up with Farrar, and Farrar, he got away from the start line as well. You've got to remember, Carl Farrar pulled 3 or 4 car lengths on the start line, so they are swapped around, and they are off again. Carl Farrar giving Dan Ball an opportunity now to try and claw back some much-needed points. As you can see, though, Carl Farrar being very, very careful. He's giving him some room, but he's keeping his distance still on a very good line. And you're going to find now Carl Farrar is going to make the dive and almost tags the back end of Dan Ball's S15 as they both shift up a gear in to the bank section of the circuit. And look at Carl Farrar now, starts to hunt down the car. Oh, but Dan Ball goes majorly wide and drops 2 wheels off track.
Does the 2 wheels off track affect his score then?
Yeah, massively. Yeah. That will be points deducted. It won't be a 0. I mean, it's going to have to be 4 wheels off track for a 0. Judge is going to knock him down. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, score drops in. It will be Carl Farrar taking the win and advancing through to a top 16.
Yeah, he was putting some pressure on him there, wasn't he?
It certainly was. And you know, Dan Ball would have seen that. He would have glanced out the side window, see Carl Farrar there, you know, nudging his bumper on his door, and he thought, he kind of lost concentration of where he was. We move it along. It will be Nick Brady now to battle Ryan Topparoski. Can see him almost make contact there. Brilliant stuff there for Carl Farrar. We are ready to go on the line. It will be Nick Brady to lead out Ryan Topparoski. Now, Brady, the car not playing ball. Last 2 years, gets it working 100%. And Topparoski, same issue, gets his car working this year. Both find themselves in competition, but who is going to shine. We've seen Nick Brady do some really good things in twin battle before, and absolutely flying so far is Brady as he fires into out of zone 3, but so is Topparoski now. Topparoski looks like he was going to try and make a dive, but just couldn't keep into it. Now he starts to apply some pressure to the side, and that Jason's metals R33 Nessan Skyline, but goes wide, gets that line completely wrong, Sarah.
Yeah, he hasn't stayed in that line at all there. I think he, you know, the lead just kind of slowed down a little bit more than he anticipated, and that's just pushed him off his line.
Did. Yeah, Nick Brady kind of come out there, put himself into a bit of a rolling burnout, ready for the shift up. Ryan Topparoski kind of just got himself on the wrong line, missed clipping point 6. We're going to go to a replay and see, and yeah, he kind of lost himself for the first half of the battle in my eyes. Nice commitment though, nice transition there and initiation from Nick Brady. But this is where Topparoski starts to apply the pressure. Brady not as deep into that outer zone as what we'd expect. But nevertheless, this is where Topparoski got it really wrong. Look at this.
I think he just went into that corner at slightly the wrong angle because he had to back off.
Yeah, everyone just getting caught out there. Everyone this weekend. Not an easy track to skid, and there you go. You can see Nick Brady pulls it across the line, and Brady will be absolutely over the moon. Spotters will be on the radio telling him, look, take it easy, not too easy. Topparoski's fast. He's got a very fast car. Let's see what Topparoski can do now in that lead position as they come off the line. It will be Topparoski to lead in Brady. A nice initiation there from both guys, but a handbrake there in the middle of the circuit for Topparoski, not what the judges wanted to see. And Brady nice and deep into the outer zone. He's going to be looking for the side of that Hulk liveried S15 right now. Topparoski again goes wide. He's on that wrong line constantly.
It's the same place though, isn't it, coming out of that front clipping point that's just catching everybody.
And look at Nick Brady there, applying the pressure, almost drives into the side of Ryan Topparoski, and we await for the decision to come in from our judges. Judges firing through these ones, no messing around. They know what they want, they know what they want to see. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, taking the win is Nick Brady. Nick Brady advances through into top 16 competition. Up next, a newcomer to the British Drift Championship. It will be Chris Wright to take on Hugh Saville. Hugh Saville in that V8 powered Toyota Corolla AE86, taking on a Nissan 350Z twin turbo.
I'm not sure how this one's going to play out really, because they're very different cars, aren't they?
Very, very different cars. Two very different driving styles as well. I've never driven a Toyota Corolla before, but a lot of guys tell me that these things are not easy to drive.
They look a little bit, well, he certainly looks a little bit more wild than the 350 does.
Yeah, Chris Wright's driving style is very fluid, very, very smooth, very, you know, calm and collected. Hugh Saville, he's a wild man behind the wheel, but can he control it enough to get himself a place in top 16? They come off the line, Chris Wright looking for the back bumper, but that Toyota Corolla absolutely fires, almost gets it wrong. Does Hugh Saville keeps himself on track? And Chris Wright is giving him some distance, but he's making a huge error. He's
making huge errors with his lines, isn't he? Yeah. I think he's obviously just reserved a little bit because he doesn't know how the other car's going to handle.
And a massive error again for Chris Wright there. Huge straight and has to reinitiate into the middle of the circuit. This is not looking good for Chris Wright right now, as Hugh Saville puts a foot to floor and takes his car across the line. A lot of mistakes there for Chris Wright.
There was quite a few, wasn't there, unfortunately. How is it going to pan out when it's the other way around, though? Is he going to lead better?
This is it. Some guys, you know, they struggle in the lead or they struggle in the chase. You know, they don't know. It's a strange game to play. You know, do you go too hard? Do you go too easy? These guys have never battled each other either before. The matchup has never been done before. So Chris Wright doesn't know Hugh Saville's, you know, style, technique, line. He doesn't know what he's going to do. And you can see there, Chris Wright on the middle of the circuit on that apex, completely wrong line. This is where it goes really wrong for Chris Wright. Nice line into clipping point 6, but then messes up massively. Doesn't give himself enough room to transition behind Hugh, and Hugh, you know, just drives away with it.
Yeah, and there's a lot to think about as well. I mean, you're not only trying to hit all of the right lines, the clipping points, and drive how you're supposed to drive to get your points, but you've also got to second guess what the other person's doing as well. So it's a lot to think about. Exactly
that. So off the line now, Chris Wright to lead, Hugh Saville to give chase, and Chris Wright, nice calm initiation from the newcomer as he transitions into clipping point 3. Nice and wild, but this is giving Hugh Saville now the opportunity to get nice and close and personal, as he can smell the tyre smoke coming off the back of that 350Z. Hugh Saville pushing hard.
Yeah, he's putting a lot of pressure on him there, isn't he? A lot
of pressure as they now come into the banked area. You can see Hugh Saville waiting to make the dive up onto the door. Gives it Chris Wright a little bit of room, but an absolute brilliant chase there from Hugh Saville.
That was great, yeah, really entertaining battle, that one. So Chris did better as a lead, really. He's got his own floor a little bit more when he hasn't got that other person to think about in front of him.
Exactly. His lead line is a lot better than his chase. And for me, the problem was he put such a good lead down that it gave Hugh Saville the opportunity to get nice and close. He knew he wasn't going to make any mistakes on the perfect qualifying line. Job was done in my eyes. Judges just wanted to see a quick replay of what went on there into that outer zone. It does look like a decision is in. I can confirm taking the winner moving through to the top 16 is Hugh Saville. Hugh Saville gets the win in that Toyota Corolla. Unfortunately, Chris Wright out of competition. He moves into the top 16. Does Hubert? Who will he be battling? Will it be Stephen McConnell or will it be Ian Rutherford? Ian Rutherford, a seasoned pro. So Ian Rutherford, a seasoned pro, gives his thumbs up to our start line. Marshall Melks, Stephen McConnell in the lead position though, the higher qualifier, but look at Rutherford. Rutherford all over the back bumper at 8.36. Rutherford knows that you can't give anyone any room on this track here. It's too fast. If you lose some pace, you're just not going to be able to claw it back again. And Rutherford really applying the pressure now to McConnell as they transition through the centre of the circuit. McConnell on an absolutely perfect lead line, and it's just giving Rutherford the opportunity to get nice and close as they come out to the final clipping point and across the finish line. Brilliant stuff there from McConnell.
That was a fantastic one, wasn't it? That
Brilliant.
was so good. He was just on his door the entire lap, so it was,
textbook.
Excellent.
McConnell had a perfect lead line, and again it encouraged Rutherford to get nice and close. And Rutherford, he's been watching. He's seen where people have been losing the battle on the start line. This track now is lost or won on the initiation and the start line. If you're not bumper to bumper when they initiate, it's game over, because it's so fast that you cannot gain that speed back up without shortcutting the circuit, which is going to get you massively scored down. You can't get back on the door, and Rutherford see that, and Rutherford was on the bumper in McConnell's car as soon as they initiated with him.
And he stuck him there the full time, really,
exactly.
didn't he? This just backs up again what we were saying about, the seat time. He's a confident driver.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Rutherford's been in that car for years. He knows it. Look at this now. Rutherford using all of the power of that supercharged V8 as he pedals this 180SX nice and deep into the outer zone 3. Gets into 4. As you can see though, McConnell now, the underpowered car, can he keep up? They transition into the final hairpin, and now a gap starts to open up as Rutherford puts foot to floor. And unfortunately for McConnell, it doesn't look like he's got an answer for the seasoned pro of Ian Rutherford.
No, he's lost that. He's made a huge gap, hasn't he, there on him, and that was the end of that for him.
Yeah, that was the end of the day, in my eyes, personally, for Stephen McConnell. But we need to make it official and wait for our judges to get the decision in. And there we go. Taking the winner moving through to the top 16 is Ian Rutherford. Ian Rutherford moves through to top 16. Unfortunately, McConnell not a contender. We move it along. Martin Cowley up next. He is going to take on Lee Lawrence. Lee Lawrence, the happiest man in the pits. Always smiling.
He's always
Mr. Colgate, always happy.
Mr. Happy.
Martin Cowley, though, a very dangerous contender to go up against. This guy has nothing to lose, and he'll be pushing 110%. So Lawrence and Cowley scrub their tyres, ready to do battle. And it will be Cowley to lead, and Lawrence to give chase. They come off the start line. Cowley clips the cones on our start line chicane. Look at this again, another battle.
There's a gap already at the beginning.
And
he's just lost that line, really. It's not there, is it?
And there you go.
Yeah.
From the start, you have to be bumper to bumper on initiation. And it sounds crazy to say, and he can catch him up. There's no way. These guys running semi-slick tyres, over 500 horsepower. Martin Cowley's car, very, very well built, very well set up. And look at this, absolutely driving away. You can see Lee Lawrence actually down on the bottom of the bank, trying to cut the circuit.
Yeah, he never got that speed
Didn't
up.
get up,
And that up.
no.
Yeah,
and that he's just trying to shortcut the circuit. Judges would have seen that, and they would have knocked him down massively. Unfortunately, there, Lee Lawrence lost left standing, And we kind of been trying to encourage the chase car to jump the start line ever so slightly. So when the start line marshal's building you up ready to go, we kind of encourage the chase car to jump the start line ever so slightly, because they have to fall behind the lead car on initiation. Unfortunately, Lee Lawrence, left napping, and looks like he's down massively on the first half of this battle.
So how do these cars compare? Have they got the same kind of power? I know you mentioned the
Similar.
500 horsepower. They're very similar, yeah.
I don't know the exact figures, but I know
same kind of lines, though.
Martin Cowley running a bigger engine, but made a massive mistake. Martin Cowley makes a huge mistake there. Lee Lawrence, nice initiation, but Cowley makes a huge error. Lee Lawrence almost falls off the edge of the circuit there. Lee Lawrence knows he has to go 100% right now, or he'll find himself parked back up in the pits. And Cowley's right with him, door on door, as they come through the final clipping point. And Cowley almost bumper to bumper there across the line. So not sure what happened there to Martin Cowley on initiation. He got himself, it's like he didn't initiate onto the wall, he kind of just initiated, tried to get on the door on initiation through onto clipping point 2 in front of us. Very, very strange. But the decision is in, the judges know exactly what they wanted. Look at that massive error there for Martin Cowley, and straight and weird. But nevertheless, Martin Cowley gets the win and advances through to the top 16. Judges deeming that, you know, the possibility of an inactive chase from Lee Lawrence not enough to overturn it. So Martin Cowley gets the win and moves on. We move it along to our next battle of the day. Will be Sean Chesson to take on Charles Funnell. So Sean Chesson in the lead position in that V8 Turbo S15. And your favourite car, the one you've been having a little snoop around.
Yeah, I like the big wing on this one. That's my favourite part of it.
Charles Funnell not messing around, jumps onto the back bumper of that S15 of Chesson's. And Chesson, though, grabs a little bit of understeer, has to back out of it, drops a wheel off the edge of the circuit. Funnell just holds back ever so slightly, not sure of what Chesson is going to do. Chesson looking pretty scrappy at the moment, although he put down 2 really good qualifying runs. Chesson now starts to find his form. Can Charles Funnell get himself back in the fight as Chesson puts foot to floor? And a very good end to the run there from Sean Chesson.
Those two are quite different cars as well, aren't they? So that's quite an interesting one, because they must handle really differently as
yeah,
well.
2 completely
different
different
you've got one
beasts.
quite short retro car, then you've got one that's really long.
Yeah, S15, yeah, it's just
so
like 2 completely oddball cars.
Yeah.
One running an SR20, one running a V8 turbo, one running a little 4-cylinder turbo. I mean, I say a little 4-cylinder, it's still making 600 horsepower.
Ah, it's only little.
It's only little,
yeah.
it's only little. You wouldn't mind it in the course, all right?
Yeah, I'd definitely swap it. If it would fit.
So we're just catching a quick replay of that from our drone footage. Lots more of this interesting stuff to bring you throughout the season, Sarah. Lots of new stuff going on. But we are back on the line, and it will be now Funnell to lead out Chesson. And Chesson giving Funnell some room. But could he full fail? Yeah, look at that. Again, massive error.
He just didn't keep the power through, did he? He slowed it down too much, and it's got grip and just driving. Exactly
that. Slowed the car down massively because he failed to initiate on the bumper, so then he carried all the speed through the first 2 turns. Tried to make a dive onto the door into that slowing zone where Charles Funnell is correctly slowing down.
Yeah.
And as you said, slowed the car down too much, it gripped up, pushed him on.
Yeah.
You know what, it's done deal, and I can confirm taking the win and moving through is Charles Funnell. Charles Funnell advances through to the top 16. Sean Chesson looks so good there as a contender, but unfortunately that mistake.
That's cost him that time.
Small slip up.
I know, that's it. The entire run can be absolutely perfect, but one tiny bit and that's it, you're gone, aren't you?
Exactly. So up next it will be Maciek to take on Neil Bamford. I don't want to slaughter his family name, so I'm going to refrain from saying it.
We'll just call him Maciek.
Yeah, we'll just call him Maciek. He'll be fine with that. But look at this, Bamford left standing from Maciek as Maciek pops a wheel on clipping point 2, and a very wide line is Maciek. Here it comes Neil Bamford, though, as Neil Bamford tries to hunt down the side of that S14 of Maciek's, but Maciek puts foot to floor and now starts to pull a big lead as they come round the bank and across the finish line. Maciek doing a very good job there. Neil Bamford, again, another driver falling foul to sitting on the start line sleeping. It's just...
That's it, and I think as well, Maciek was just really confident in that run as well. He just went for it, didn't he?
Mega confident. You can see the commitment. You know, as he come through clipping point 2 where there's a dip, he popped the front wheel off the tarmac. You know, he's drifting on 3 wheels.
He was fully in.
He was fully committed. There was no messing around. And then Bamford, look, you know, he does everything he can, sticks to that qualifying line, but unfortunately, for me, the deal is already done, and Maciek looks like the stronger contender. So judges just deliberating the first half of that run. Maciek not back on the line, though. Was issue with his car? No, he's pulled straight back round the corner again. That would be unfortunate if his car broke right now.
It would be, wouldn't it? I know, after you've just done that good
run.
1
foot in the top 16, and then that's it. Off the line, Bamford now to lead out Maciek. And look at Maciek, no messing around. Bumper on bumper. Late initiation, though, from Maciek. Really messes that one up.
Yeah, it's a bit late, that one, wasn't it?
Miles too late, gets himself way on the wrong part of track. Judge is going to be looking at that one, though. Bamford puts in a nice lead line. Oh, Maciek's into the tyres. Maciek miles too wide into the tyres.
Again, because that first initiation just didn't send him into the right place.
Everyone's having the same problem. They're not making that commitment or initiating too late onto the first clipping point. And it's just completely ruining the run.
Yeah, sets you up for the rest of it, doesn't it? If you can't get the first initiation, you can't transfer.
And this is where it all goes wrong. Well, sorry, this is a replay from the first half of the run. It all went wrong. Oh, so judges undecided on this one, ladies and gentlemen. I can confirm we will be going on one more time. So the first one more time of the day. So if you're new to drifting, I know you are, Sarah, very new. These guys get a one more time, only one more time. So they get to battle again. So Neil Bamford will lead, and then Maciek will lead, and then swap them around. And they do the battle once again. As you can see, these guys pull up to the line. If they need tyres, we give these guys an opportunity to go back to the pits, get tyres, grab fuel, you know, make any adjustments. You know, Maciek went into the tyres, he might need to have a look at his car very quickly. He'll only get till the end of this bracket to get back out to complete that one more time, and we haven't got many more of those to go, so we're just having a quick look. Yeah, as you can see, Maciek there heading back to the pits. Neil Bamford, Team Airtech Motorsport. You can see, look, Maciek into the tyres.
Touch those tyres there.
Yeah, just carrying too much speed on transition, sent it in, and yeah, got it all wrong. Gets on the marbles, you know, all around the edge of the track. You can see them there, they're blown from the corner. Their marbles are absolutely deadly to a drift car. If you get on them, it's game over. It's like driving on wet grass, you're just a passenger. Paul Cunnington pulls to the line, ready to do battle with Lisa Branch, our female Pro-Am driver. So we are just waiting to get the thumbs up from everybody, and looks like we are clear to go. It will be Cunnington to lead out Branch. And Lisa Branch, again.
Not on his tail at all, is she?
No.
Not on the bumper.
And this is where the spotters really need to come into play now. The spotters really need to be on the radio to these drivers in the chase position saying, look, I know it's a daunting challenge, but you need to be literally on the back bumper when you initiate. Otherwise, you know, you're going to cause yourself no end of problems. And Lisa Branch managed to catch up there with Paul Cunnington, but made a huge error coming out of clipping point 6. Straight and almost hit Paul Cunnington up the back and had to bail out of it. So that will be a huge deficit to Lisa Branch there. So as you can see, our drone just giving you a bird's eye view of the circuit.
I'm absolutely loving the shots this new drone's getting.
Absolutely
it's
brilliant.
Isn't it?
I have heard a rumour. I have heard a little rumour that there's going to be a live in-car soon.
A live in-car?
So we're going to be able to see our Pro or Pro-Am drivers doing a qualifying run live.
That would be absolutely fantastic. What a viewpoint for the spectators to see.
Only ever seen it once before. It was a little bit sketchy, but you know what these guys say, that they've got the technology, they can make it happen.
I believe they can. I reckon
the drone shots are phenomenal.
Yeah,
from what I've seen so far, they're doing good things. Back on the line, Lisa Branch now to lead out Paul Cunnington. Paul Cunnington, for me, has the advantage. Can he continue this? Look at this, on the back bumper of Lisa Branch's R33 Skyline.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And Cunnington, good transition back. Lisa Branch seems to have found her cool now. Very shallow on that outer zone 4, gets back into it, but Cunnington just giving her enough room, but Cunnington makes a big error there. Doesn't get out.
Yeah, he was a bit out of shape there.
Yeah, doesn't get out to that outer zone. Has to think about what he's doing.
It's good to see Lisa getting a bit of confidence though, getting in the zone with that one. That was much better than her first run.
Yeah, Lisa, you know, I think she realised the mistake she made, and she realised that you have to be on that back bumper on initiation. If you give them that chance to pull away, you're not going to get it back. So we await the score from our judges, and it does drop in. It will be Paul Cunnington taking the win. Paul Cunnington will take the win and move through. Secret Performance moves through to the top 16. We move it along. It will be Lewis Baker, I do believe, to take on James Matheson. Yep, the S15 V8 twin turbo take on the JZ powered S14 of Lewis Baker. Now this could end in any way possible.
This is going to be
because James Matheson hasn't had the best weekend so far.
No.
He said he just wanted to go home and forget about what had happened. And Lewis Baker likes to put on a show. He likes to come in backwards and do leery stuff.
I remember this from this morning. Yeah, he's quite a showman, isn't he?
This could be fiberglass everywhere, cars mangled into cars, or this could be the closest door-on-door battle we're going to see all weekend. They're off the line. Either way, we're about to find out. It will be Baker to lead in Matheson. And look at the initiation from Baker. Absolutely flying right now is Lewis Baker. Matheson looks like he's got that car dialed ever so slightly. Oh, and he catches a whole load of understeer, tags a tyre and puts it into a spin.
And he's spun, yeah.
And Lewis Baker keeps his momentum, puts foot to floor, and absolutely drives away. And James Matheson's weekend just goes from bad to worse.
So does he now forfeit that win automatically because he's spun?
No.
Ah, so it's interesting.
Because if we go out, if now James Matheson gets the opportunity to... there's a lot of smoke coming from the back end of James Matheson's car. I don't know if that was tyre smoke or engine smoke. James Matheson will now lead out Lewis Baker. If Lewis Baker does what he did in qualifying, comes in mega hot and spins, he'll one more time again.
Right.
So it's not done
until it's done.
It's not done until it's done. And we have seen this happen time and time again.
It's literally anything can happen, isn't it? It really is anyone's race
anything
sometimes.
can happen. Yeah. And this is why I say that top 32 driver can qualify in 32nd place and still win the event. You know, if you get an easy run of battles or the guy that you battle just has unfortunate luck, you could, you know, win it hands down. But right now, James Matheson throws down initiation. So does Lewis Baker. Baker now starts to hunt down the back end of that S15. But he's in the middle of the track. Looks like he's going to go for an undertake. Oh, and a massive mistake from Lewis Baker.
Exactly what we just said. I can't believe that.
So a huge mistake for Baker. Can Matheson keep himself in the game? He just has to finish off the run. As Matheson finishes off the run, Baker absolutely flying behind.
Unbelievable. I mean, that must be such a hard decision for the judges to make when you've got two runs that have got, you know, kind of equally bad mistakes.
Exactly, both guys making mistakes, both guys spinning the same place. It's just, you know, it's slowing and then you've got to try and build the speed back up, you know, really pedaling the car, using the clutch, using the accelerator to try and get that car back up. And you can see Baker on the wrong line though. He's in the middle of the circuit. He knew he was going to make contact as well. He would have estimated. He would have you know, seen where Matheson is. He's going to think, I'm going to make contact. I'm going to bail out of this. Will be a one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Baker and Matheson will go one more time, and we're going to move back to our one more time battle of Maciek versus Neil Bamford. So Bamford getting reversed off the line for some reason. Maybe for tyre warming. So not sure what is going on right now. It looks like Maciek is ready to go. Neil Bamford both ready to warm their tyres and make their way to the start line. So this will be the first one more time for Neil Bamford and Maciek. So these guys get called to the start line. It's getting colder. Malcolm's put a coat on now. That's probably about as much as he puts on.
If you've still got shorts on, is it going to make much of a difference?
He makes me cold sitting here.
Yeah, I feel cold looking at his legs.
Almost contact. Maciek wild across the middle of the circuit there as he fires it in at Lewis. Sorry, Neil Bamford there held out ever so slightly, but he has to fall down on the circuit as he just could not carry the pace there. And now Maciek puts the pressure on and fires that car into the outer zone. Neil Bamford, though, not giving Maciek much room to manoeuvre. Starts to apply the pressure again, but Maciek out-carring Neil Bamford ever so slightly. He's nice and high on the bank and absolutely driving away. So judges asking for a replay of the start. Maybe Maciek is at fault. So judges said in the briefing, and clearly to all the drivers, that on initiation, the driver couldn't come more than 3/4 of the way across the track on initiation to flick the car in.
Yeah.
So drivers, the judges now might be looking at Maciek saying, well, you know what, you kind of blocked Neil Bamford a little bit, because Neil Bamford didn't get the opportunity to also flick his car and get on the back bumper.
Yes, because he's come too far over.
He's impeded his line.
Yeah.
So if the judges deem Maciek at fault, Neil Bamford, sorry, I keep saying Barker and
there's too many
getting confused.
names with Beachy.
Neil Bamford could have a slight advantage.
Yeah. He could have a technical advantage there, couldn't he?
Yes,
exactly.
because
right.
Maciek, you know, he did exactly what the judges said, and that was he flicked the car more than 3/4 of the way across the track.
And that's what it's coming down to, technicalities,
Yeah.
because you've got, you know, a rerun of these battles because we couldn't decide.
Yep, and then it comes down to the finest of points. And this is just our pro competition. This gets even tougher when we move into our pro competition tomorrow, because those guys make such small mistakes that when it comes down to it, it has to be splitting hairs. These guys have to, you know, pick out who made the lesser mistakes. You know, that's what it comes down to. Neil Bamford and Maciek sit on the line, are ready to do battle. We're just trying to get a replay from our live feed crew, just for our judges. Judges just want to clear this up before they move forward. They won't come to a decision until they've seen exactly what they want to see. So they're going to want to see the initiation. So just saying they want to see off of the start line. So judges want to see the guys leaving the start line up until the initiation point. They want to see where Maciek's car was at the point where he come through the chicane. So here we go, we've got that replay. As you can see, Maciek, look how far across the track he come. He kind of impede. You can see Neil Bamford lift off the accelerator. And,
he had nowhere to go, did he?
Exactly. He had to get out of it, because it was either that or we're making contact on the start line, and that's not what they want to see. So judges have seen what they want to see. Thumbs up. They're ready to rock and roll for the second half of this one more time battle, and it will be Bamford now to lead out Maciek now. Bamford takes off the line. Maciek knows that he has to give it his all. He could be sitting with a deficit right now. And look at Bamford absolutely flying. Maciek on a nice line, but Bamford using everything he's got to try and pull away from our European driver right now, as Neil Bamford puts on an absolute masterclass in lead line. This is brilliant stuff from Neil Bamford. Maciek makes a mistake, gets lost a little bit now, uses the power in the car to try and gain some proximity, gets nice and high on the bank, but you know what, for me, the deal's already done. Neil Bamford puts on an absolutely stellar show there.
Yeah, I reckon that was pretty faultless, really, that one, wasn't it? He definitely seems to have the edge, so
yeah,
let's see what the judges think.
Very good driver, very cool guy. I'm waiting to get the decision from our judges. And we can confirm taking the win and moving through is Maciek. Maciek gets the win and moves through. Unfortunately, Neil Bamford, in our eyes, doing enough, but unfortunately, you know, not enough.
Not enough to win, but it was pretty close with that one. I think they both had a few mess-ups, and yeah, it's just like say down to fine hairs, isn't it?
Splitting hairs. That's all it comes down to. We move it along to the next battle of the day. It will be Stu Jones to take on Jamie Stevens. Now, Jamie Stevens piloting that BMW V8 turbo of Andreas Vasiliauskas. And these two cars make a lot of smoke.
I did notice that earlier on, but I quite like it. I bet the crowd likes it as well.
The crowd
it's all about the show, isn't it?
I love it. I can't wait to see both these guys go door and door around that bank and absolutely smoke out the crowd. They're off the line. It will be Stu Jones to lead out Jamie Stevens. A nice fast initiation there from Jones. And he is absolutely flying. Jamie Stevens finds himself in the middle of the circuit with no proximity right now as they transition back into the outer zone. Stevens cuts the middle of the circuit. Look at this, trying to gain that proximity, trying to gain back what he's lost. He's lost that ground. Can he get back on it again? He can't. Look at him way down on the bank.
And
what a spin
as well. Yeah, unfortunately.
Spin.
But again, it's that lack of initiation there. It didn't go into the initiation right, and then the whole thing is kind of messed up from there because you're trying to gain speed, but you're sacrificing everything else just to catch up with the lead.
Exactly it. And he found himself in the middle of the he found himself in the middle of the bank. It's not where judges wanted these guys. They said they want to see him nice and high up. And he was trying to progressively get himself up there by applying more and more throttle. And in the end, there's only so much them tyres can take.
And then it's gone. Yeah.
And then it's gone. And look at this, in magnificent style. Jamie Stevens puts himself into a spin, so it will be a 0 for Stevens, a 10-0 advantage to Stu Jones. Stu Jones will be very, very excited. That car completely rebuilt in the off-season, ready for competition this year. And not many more battles to go, I do believe. Not many more battles to go at all. We have the one more time of Lewis Baker and James Matheson. The second half of this battle of Stu Jones and Jamie Stevens, and then just 4 more battles to go. And that's our top 16 decided that quick.
Already, I know.
That quick is our top 16 decided.
It's flying past, isn't it?
You know what they say? Time flies when you're having fun.
I think a lot of people out there are having fun.
I'm definitely having
fun.
I'm happy to be back at a British Drift Championship. You guys in attendance happy to be at a BDC event?
That's not a bad cheer, but come on.
It's not bad. They can do better than that. Teeside, are you guys happy to be at an event? That's more like it. Off the line, Jamie Stevens to lead out. Stu Jones. Stevens needs to pull everything out of the bag right now if he's going to move through to the top 16. And look at this, Stevens absolutely flying as he puts that turbo V80 30 where he needs it to be. Stu Jones now playing catch-up. Jamie Stevens absolutely flying though, but here comes Stu Jones. Jamie Stevens wide though, he gets in the wrong line. Sarah finds himself a little bit caught up. And Jamie Stevens gets on that wide line. Stu Jones just playing catch up. Very nice lead line there from Jamie Stevens.
It is interesting to see how when the pressure's off slightly, because you're the one actually leading, you can kind of forget about that.
Yeah.
What actually happens
and he's
to the
just thinking
style.
about his own game. Yeah, he's just thinking about his own game. Brilliant, brilliant lead run there from Jamie Stevens. So we wait for the decision to come in for our judges, and there we go. Stu Jones gets the win. Stu Jones gets the win and advances through to Slide Motorsport. Competition clutch driver takes the win. Easy one there, because it just, as good as that lead was from Jamie Stevens, he just couldn't overturn the spin and unfortunately knocked himself out. But I see a guy in that car that's going to progress massively, and that car's got so much potential.
Yeah,
Jamie Stevens, a bit more seat time.
That's
as all we keep saying, seat time again.
Yeah.
He's going to move forward with that, and it's going to be very, very good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he progresses through the season then. Once
exactly.
he gets some more seat time and gets a little bit more comfortable with the car.
So we're to the start line. It's a very empty start line. No cars at the moment. So up next could either be the one more time of Matheson and Baker, or we could see the next battle on our grid, which should be Louis Edwards to take on Matt Fountain. So again, you can see that drone shot. I'm loving that.
I'm loving the drone shot.
So good.
It just adds such a different element to it as well.
Different perspective, completely different perspective. So it will do. It will look like we will go back to the one more time of Lewis Baker and James Matheson. You can see there, Matheson so slightly sitting back. He's going to want to warm the tyres on the back end of that twin turbo V8 S15. And Lewis Baker, the showman. Now all they need to do is put one clean run in each. That's all they need to do.
Sounds easy, that, doesn't it?
Sounds so easy.
Simple.
But in theory, it's the hardest thing in the world.
Anything can happen.
Oh, look at this. Matheson eager. Nice jump off the line. He thought his weekend was over on yesterday evening, but now he sees a glimmer of hope left. Nice initiation from Baker as he's absolutely flying. Oh, and Matheson, a four-wheel lock-up, goes onto the grass. And he is absolutely ditched there as Lewis Baker begins the drive towards the finishing line. And you know what? Baker will look over now and see Matheson there and see him not moving, and he will be absolutely pumped because he knows that's another 10-0 advantage.
Yeah, there's not a lot he needs to do now, is there?
No, Matheson does look like he could potentially have an issue. So you can see our track marshals over there, Callum Pete and Jason Slade. Those guys run many miles all season. As you can see here on initiation, Lewis Baker, nice and fast. Not sure what went wrong for James Matheson. He was kind of left behind, so playing catch up, and then, as you can see there, just couldn't match the grip and the drive of Lewis Baker's car and had to put himself off the track. Does look like he may have issues. He's moved it about 40 foot and now stopped again.
You almost feel the frustration from them because they've spent so much time making
so much
this
time
car
and effort
right.
and so much,
so much money, so much love into
work,
these cars.
Yeah.
And when this kind of thing happens, it's just gutting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just going, and there we go. We're just hearing news now from our track marshals that unfortunately James Matheson has retired from competition. Problems with that car and not going to be able to continue through within a 5-minute rule. So that is it. That's the end of the weekend there for James Matheson. That does give the win to Lewis Baker. Lewis Baker gets the win and advances through to the top 16. So that means just 4 more battles to go, and that is our top 16 decided. So unfortunately there for James Matheson. He is out of competition, and we're just seeing some highlights of contact and aggression. Some really good driving so far in our top 32 pro competition. Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, that tomorrow is our pro competition day. If you are local, if you're an hour away, if you're 2 hours away, jump in the car, get yourself down here. We've got a lot going on at our trade village. We've got our Excite lorry in attendance. We've got our Rat RC, I do believe it's called, drift competition going on this weekend.
Yep.
Trade stands, brand spanking new BDC merch, and I am so jealous of your woolly hat right now.
I'm loving the hat. I've seen loads of people with it on. I'm not sure if they've got any left now.
I think they've nearly sold out. They're literally all the clothing has been selling like hotcakes.
They're really smart.
Yeah,
really,
they're
really
very cool stuff. So don't forget, if you're here in attendance, go down, see Loza and the girls in the tent there. Grab yourself some hoodies and t-shirts and whatnot, hats. Some AM Details products as well. I think you can buy some car cleaning products.
There's some car cleaning products down there.
Do you know AM Details? They hooked me up with a care package, and my car has never been cleaned once with it because I'm lazy.
Yeah, I am as well, to be fair. If my car ever actually runs, I'll clean it.
No, you did use their products to clean my car, and phenomenal stuff, so don't forget to check them out. They've got some stuff here you can buy. Like I say, Trade Village, get yourself along, tickets on the gate all weekend, or buy some tickets online. Come see the guys down there on the gate. Come down, hang out. We've got a live DJ tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen in attendance, please show some appreciation for James Matheson. That guy tirelessly worked for the last 14 million hours to get that car here this weekend, and unfortunately just didn't pay off. But nevertheless, you know,
he gave it his all, though, didn't he?
He gave it
his
everything he had,
all, so.
And that's what we love about these guys. Yeah, we've got DJ in attendance tomorrow, so if you think my voice is going to be, you know, boring to listen to another couple of hours tomorrow, listen to a live DJ in the house.
Are you going to sing?
I don't do singing. I don't do singing, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a very good thing. We're moving along on that note to the next battle of the day, and it will be Louis Edwards to take on Matt Fountain. Edwards pulls to the line. Fountain now, for me, has a task and a half on his hands. He's a higher powered car. But if you remember rightly, we said Louis Edwards was so technical, and you said his driving was very fluid, you know, and he was on point. Matt Fountain, for me, is just going to have to be careful. He's going to have to drive a careful line. Louis Edwards comes off the line, that lead position. Fountain to give chase, and look at this nice opposite flick from Edwards. Stays in it, a wobble from Fountain. Look, Fountain again, small wobbles. He needs to really control his driving. Look at Louis Edwards' line, a big four-wheel lock up there from Fountain. Fountain struggling, he's door on door, but it's scrappy transition.
It's messy, isn't it? It's messy.
Very, very messy from Matt Fountain. Louis Edwards stays in it, gets back nice and wide on that qualifying line. Fountain's got the power, like I said, but that means nothing. Almost contact, and Fountain has to back out of it. Comes to a straighten before the finishing line.
How does Edwards stay so cool and collected under all that pressure? All that stuff going on behind him.
Louis Edwards was just, you know, in his zone. He was in the zone. Yeah. And like I said, he might have the underpowered car, but he knows how to drive it. And you hit the nail on the head earlier. He's a technical driver.
That's it.
And he is technical. You watch him. Look how clinical he is with it. Perfect. You know, a little dab of the foot brake. He knows where he wants to be.
Yeah, he knows the car well. He knows exactly what it's going to do.
Exactly. He knows what
he needs. And he knows what he needs to do to get it there. It's just brilliant to watch. It's a tough opponent for him, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and you know, and if you're sitting there with a higher power car, you think this is a doddle.
Yeah,
this guy's only got
easy.
a couple of 100 horsepower, and then he goes out and he puts on an absolute master of a lead run like that and forces you to make an error. He just sat back and said, "You make all the mistakes. I'll do what I've been doing all day, and we'll see who wins it." But we have stopped him around. And it will be now Louis Edwards to chase down Matt Fountain.
This will be an interesting one this way around.
It will be certainly interesting. Fountain fires that car through clipping point 2. Edwards, again, look at that, absolutely pinpoint perfect on that wide qualifying line. For me, Fountain not on that wide qualifying line as he comes through clipping point 4, makes a huge mistake. Finds himself back on it now, but Edwards, no proximity, but absolutely nailing that qualifying line. You can see him just using a little bit of left foot brake to get that car nice and high on the bank as they finish up the run. And judges, no messing around. They all knew what they wanted to see straight away, and I can confirm taking the win will be Louis Edwards. Louis Edwards gets the win and advances through. Some Louis Edwards fans in the house. Some Louis Edwards fans in the house. Unfortunately, Matt Fountain's weekend ends there. Look, through no fault of his own, he made his own mistakes.
Yeah.
If he would have just kept his cool, you know, and drove, you know, with a bit more, you know,
bit more finesse.
Sense,
yeah,
he would have got himself through. Unfortunately, he didn't. We move it along to the next battle. It will be Nerigis now to take on Willie Hanna. So it'll be R33 Skyline to take on R33 Skyline. Two very, very different cars. Nerigis' car super aggressive. JZ under the bonnet. Massive amounts of horsepower. This guy, very aggressive driver, and as you can see, nice initiation from Nerigis as he comes flying through clipping point 1 and 2, nice and wide. Look at this, completely drove away from Willie Hanna.
Yeah, and he's not on the right line. Again, the initiation just didn't come off for him.
Yeah, completely messed up the initiation, did Willie Hanna, and Nerigis taking full advantage of that as he puts his foot down, nice and wide in the bank, nice and high, and across the line goes Nerigis.
What a run for him, though. I mean, that's, again, confidence, absolute confidence.
Yeah, very, very confident guy. Yeah,
him.
very, very confident. And he now will feel even better as they come back to the line. He will be in that chase position. So Nerigis makes his way back to the line. Willie Hanna will now lead out Nerigis for a spot in the top 16. Smoke from the bonnet of Nerigis' car. Could that be a sign of things to come as they come off of the line? And Nerigis on the back bumper of Willie Hanna's R33 Skyline. This time Nerigis not getting caught napping. And Willie Hanna on a very nice line, but Nerigis right within four-wheel lock-up as they enter into that outer zone 4. And Nerigis, Nerigis creates his own destiny there with a massive mistake. Willie Hanna keeps his cool now. Can Willie Hanna use that to his advantage and secure himself a spot in top 16? As they bring it across the line, judges deliberating that one quite heavily.
Yeah, it's quite a shame after his first run that he ended up making that little error in the second one. But again, that just shows you how different you have to drive when you're leading or you're following. Yeah,
exactly. And you just got caught up in the moment ever so slightly. It was like he got a little bit carried away with himself. Didn't realise that Willie Hanna wasn't carrying that much speed out of that out of zone 4, and unfortunately had to shut it down. Almost made contact with the back end of that car. So it's getting very, very cold in the tower now. It's going to rain in a minute, I'm telling you. It's going to rain. It's going to mix it up, because you know what happens when it rains? The rain lays on the rubber. Oh, it is raining. Oh, it is raining. Oh, I feel really sorry for you guys. Oh, yeah, look, I've just seen the umbrella. And just like that, like a medieval god of weather. It's like it's going to rain.
Have you just been doing a rain dance or something?
I couldn't even stand up on that cold right now.
I think we're frozen in this position now.
So I'll tell you what happens right now. This now gets mega sketchy, because what happens is the water lays on top of the rubber, on top of the diesel, the fuel, everything that's the oil, everything that's been on track, and this starts to get mega sketchy, as you can see. Yeah. Darren Wiles now taking on Polias Judicious. Oh, and big contact big contact between Darren Wiles. Big contact between Paulius and Darren Wiles there. Darren Wiles hitting the side of Paulius's car. Now he gives a thumbs up to our styler marshal. Look at the back wheel of that car. Look at the damage.
Wow, that's
Darren Wiles
definitely
created.
a good hit there. So what happens now then? Does he have to retire? Does he get 5 minutes?
Look at this, massive, carries
Wow, yeah.
massive amounts of speed and pushes Paulius round. And yeah, problems are going to be found there on Darren Wiles' car as well, even though Darren Wiles drove the other way back out of the track, sorry. So the way the judges will look at this now is that if Darren Wiles caused damage to Paulius' car, he will be given a competition timeout. So Paulius will be given enough time for the end of this bracket to fix his car, to get his car back out into competition. If Paulius doesn't manage to get his car fixed, he will win the battle, but unfortunately he will not be able to advance on in competition. So he will get into the top 16, but he cannot then battle in top 16. So whoever he would have tried to have battled in top 16, they'll get a bye run, unfortunately.
Right.
It's the only fairest way to do it, it's the easiest way to do it, and we will find out from our start line and our track marshals as soon as we know that information to relay it to you. So we're just trying to find out if Darren Wiles does need recovery. I mean, he came in there like a bat out of hell. He hit Paulius with some serious speed. You can see this come off the line.
And that's the risk, isn't it? They're all carrying such speed through the corners that if one little mistake does happen, there's not a lot of time to rectify it.
There's no time to react. Watch this. You can see here, look, Darren Wiles puts foot to floor. Tries to slow the car down, but he's already carrying loads of speed.
There was no way. He was just a passenger after that,
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
And that's it, the wet track, you know.
Yeah,
Right.
you don't have the grip you had in the last run because you've now got
and you
that
don't know that, and your
greasy
car
surface.
is exactly. And you're sitting on the start line, your car isn't prepped for rain. You're just sitting there, and the next thing you know, you've got to go. You can't. There is no backing up.
And you don't know if your tyres aren't going to grip until it's happening.
Until it's there.
And there's not a lot you can do
in that
about
situation.
it. Yeah.
Exactly.
He might have been able to rectify it slightly, except he had another car in front of him. So unfortunately, that's the way that goes, isn't it?
Exactly. That is it. So it does look like Darren Wiles. Oh, it looks like he de-beaded a tyre as well, so it looks like the tyre came off the rim. And he's going to try and attempt to drive back to the pits. As soon as we know what's going on, we'll relay that information back to you. Once again, if you're local, get yourself down. Sarah, you advise it right now?
Absolutely. I mean, this.
You look like you're frozen.
Well, I am
like
frozen.
A little ice cube sitting next to me.
It's all worth it, isn't it? Look,
of course it is. You get the atmosphere. You get the atmosphere. You get to see the drivers. We're going to do a track walk tomorrow, so we get all of our pro drivers out on track. You guys are allowed to come down onto the circuit, meet and greet all our pro drivers, shake their hands, touch the car. You can put your hands on it.
Not the drivers, though.
You can touch the drivers if you want. Some of them haven't showered in probably about a month because they've been building the cars. No, not down for that.
Not down for that.
So you get to come down, you get to meet and greet all the drivers. A lot of the drivers hand out some goodies.
Oh, even better.
Some
That's
of them
the reason
have
to come
goodies.
down, isn't it?
So, yeah, I mean, look, don't sit indoors and watch it on the live feed. I know it's easy, I know it's convenient. Come along, get involved with the event. We might even give out a couple of free T-shirts tomorrow. I'll have a word with Matt later and try and twist his arm a little bit, see if we can give away a couple of hats or a couple of T-shirts. Come down, it's going to be a really good show. Like I say, you mentioned it earlier, we might not get to do this again. We might not get to go backwards on this track.
Yeah, who knows? And it's a fantastic facility that we've got right on our doorstep as well. We're really lucky.
The cheesy chips with curry sauce from the CAF are very good.
Was that better than the Parmo that you had last night?
That was my first ever Parmo. Ever.
Ian's first ever Parmo, can you believe it? How long have you been coming here?
11 years.
Yeah, and his first ever Parmo. It's pretty disgraceful.
Didn't know what it was until the other week. It was pretty good, to be fair. Yeah,
you smashed it, didn't you?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Parmo, what was
I'm
it?
still
Parmo
alive
bun.
now. I'm still alive now. I'm here to tell the tale. So
Parmo bun, wasn't it?
It was really good. Yeah, I enjoyed it massively.
Good. I might get one tonight. I'm hungry now thinking about it.
So don't forget, get yourselves along. Like we said earlier, we've got the Excite truck here in attendance with the simulator. We've also got the RC drift cars here. You come down, meet and greet those guys. Really nice bunch of lads. Walton Motorsport here, selling Turbo Smart products, Cosmos Racing wheels, and also the brand new amazing BDC merchandise, new for 2019.
The hoodie's really warm.
Very warm.
Really warm.
The hat looks warm.
It is, yeah, my ears.
You're not going to give it to me, are you?
No. You can keep asking.
Keep asking. Just
trying.
Keep saying how well it looks and how nice it looks. I turned it down. How foolish am I? I was like, no, I don't need a hat. I don't need a hat.
Rookie mistake, that.
I'll be getting a hat on the way out, so we all know. So for you guys watching at home there, you can see the replay of the contact, and you can just see, I'm not sure if it's still raining or if it was just a brief shower. I mean, that's mixed stuff up massively.
It looks like it might be spitting.
Is it? I can't, my eyes.
That fine rain.
That rain that gets you really wet.
Yeah.
You only get that up north.
Is that a thing? Just up north?
Just up north.
We're all kind of seasoned to it. I mean, look at these troopers out here in this weather.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
hands. Look, these guys come out hands down are the biggest, best BDC fans. Sitting in the rain, supporting UK drifting. It does look like we are going to get Darren Wiles' car recovered back to the pits. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. One absolute credit to UK drifting. That guy is a hand-controlled V8 drift car, and Darren Wiles not scared to absolutely send it and put it on the door. And like I said, a credit and true grit that guy has got is incredible. So as Darren Wiles makes his way off the circuit, we should be getting geared up and ready to go with the next battle of the day.
I'm all set, Harry, by the way.
Toby. Right, so what's next then? It's what? Stu's on. So we are ready to move it along with the action again, and it will be
set to 116.
the next battle of the day. Sorry, will be Josh King to take on Ash Jones. Got really confused there looking at the battle sheet. I was like, I don't even know where I am and where I'm not. Darren Wiles did bow out of competition, so he does give the win to Polius Judeus. So we will see Polius in top 16 competition. He doesn't need time to fix his car and battle again. Unfortunately, Darren Wiles has held his hands up and said, look, I made a mistake. I can't repair the car in time. I'm out. And you know what? It's such a shame. That guy, really good driver. But this is just round one. This is round one of 6.
Anything can happen. It's all still to play for, isn't it?
It's all still to play for. It very much is. And
it's great to have that result in round one to, push you through to the next round and give you that confidence. But anything can happen. So if this isn't your round, don't give up. Keep going. Yeah.
Don't keep going because it could be around the next round. Josh King now leads out Ash Jones. You can see the windscreen wipers on. This has really mixed it up right now. Oh, Josh King comes in hot, but not as hot as Stu, as Ash Jones throws it off track. And it just goes to show you how much the variable has changed.
It's just super, super slippy out there now. It's like a different
kind of
track. Battle altogether, yeah.
It's a completely different track, and you can just see there Josh King.
He's lost his bumper.
Making contact with the tyre wall there, and another spin for Ash Jones. And so unfortunate there for Ash Jones. I spoke to him earlier in the break, and he said his car wasn't 100%. Said he needed to do some more work to it. He's hoping to fit a V8 under the bonnet for this season with a turbo, but it didn't happen. Just a 2.5 BMW with a nitrous. So you can imagine how hard he has to drive. Look at this, complete commitment. And sends it off the track backwards. So it will be a 0 there for Ash Jones. As Josh King pulls up to the start line. Ash Jones, though, confident with the car, just knows it was, driver error, lack of grip. He's back on the line and ready to do battle for the second half of this run. So E36 versus E36. Ash Jones to lead, Josh King to give chase. We're waiting for the thumbs up from our start line marshal and our track manager. Oh, so just looking for a replay there, unfortunately. Sorry, just judges wanting to see a replay of a certain part of that track. So maybe judges see something there, Sarah, that I had missed again.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, this is the attention to detail that these guys need, you know, in order to do the judging. There's a reason they're there in them seats, because they're looking for all the details that we might miss. We might see the obvious things, you know. And
I always see the obvious things.
Yeah, there you go. And they're looking for like the really fine details, yeah, to really see who.
Judging is the hardest and most unrewarding job there is, because you make nobody's weekend except for 3 people. Everyone hates you,
except for the 3,
including the general public, because you didn't put their fan through, and they're just now discussing what went on there between Josh King and Ash Jones. So like I say, most unrewarding job going, and I've done it, and it's so hard to say to someone, no, you wasn't good enough, go home, and you shatter their weekend.
Not what you want to say to people.
It certainly isn't, but off the line you can see Ash Jones now leading out Josh King. Josh King almost made contact with Ash Jones on the run up to initiation, but then gives him some room. Both these guys now have kind of felt out the grip level, so they kind of know where it isn't, if it's patchy, and this could be playing to the advantage of Ash Jones, but he goes majorly wide and has to shut it down. Josh King keeps a hold of it. Ash Jones washes his way offline. He's now really got to try and work. You can see Josh King majorly straight there, just about keeping some form of angle as he flicks it up onto the bank. And drops a wheel across the finish line, does Josh King. So judges' scores are waiting to appear on our system. As we can see, Nera just there, just warming up his tyres, ready to do one more time, battle with Willie Hannah. So early initiation there from Josh King. You can see he initiated before Ash Jones. Ash Jones not doing a whole lot wrong up until here. This is where it kind of went wrong. Puts it on big angle, knows he's not going to be able to save it, bows out of it, and then has to reinitiate Josh King. Kind of follows him, but this is where it goes wrong for Josh King there. He kind of made a weird line. It was a weird angle. So the judges deliberating that one quite heavily, as you can see Nera just pulling up to the line to battle Willie Hannah. So not being able to send these cars yet, judges not come to a decision.
They're definitely deliberating it, aren't they? So there's obviously a lot more than we can see in this.
Yeah. There was quite a lot of mistakes from Ash Jones, but yet Josh King made a couple of errors in that chase position too. And I can hear him saying, like, who made less mistakes?
Yeah.
You know, who made less mistakes in that lead and in the chase? Could it be a one more time?
Could be. They're still deliberating.
They're still deliberating.
It's obviously something quite.
Start line marshal Melks is ready to go. He wants to see some more action. He has his thumb up in the air, waiting to get the signal from our track manager Toby. So we are being given the information, ladies and gentlemen, that we are going to get one more time between Josh King and Ash Jones. So we're going to see those guys go one more time. Up first, though, with a one more time of Nerigis and Willie Hannah. And now the variables change for these guys.
Yeah,
it's a dry track last time they went out. And a massive error there for Nerigis. It almost comes to a complete straight in the middle of the circuit. Gets himself back into it, but Willie Hannah looks more comfortable in that chase position. And Nerigis, a scrappy lead as Willie Hannah shallows up the angle to keep proximity and stay in the fight.
That wasn't as smooth and as fluid as his other runs have been, was it? So I reckon the surface is obviously playing a massive part in this now.
Yeah,
it's damp out there.
You think the first time they ran together it was bone dry.
Yeah.
So there's no tyre smoke. It's a
yeah.
complete wet track. It's completely changed. Not easy for them guys.
It really isn't.
Not easy at all. Especially when you've got 500-600 horsepower. It's harder to control that power in the wet than it is.
Absolutely, especially depending on what tyres he's got on as well. You know, is he still set up for the dry like it was 10 minutes ago?
I mean, these guys are all running semi-slick tyres. They're all running the best of the best that are out there, that are available and legal to run in the championship.
Yeah.
But, you know, even still, right now, a little E36 BMW like Ash Jones would do the job, and Nerigis and Willie Hanna have got a task on their hands. Who made the lesser mistakes on the first half of that run? Well, only the judges will know that one. They come off the line. It'll be Willie Hanna to lead out Nerigis. Nerigis on the back bumper. Nice initiation. Willie Hanna goes nice and deep into outer zone 2 as they transition nice and wide onto the first hairpin. And Willie Hanna and Nerigis just absolutely giving it everything they have now. Nerigis with some real good proximity, but washes very wide. He's going to mess up his line completely, and he did. Struggles to stay in it, and Willie Hanna absolutely drives away. Now Nerigis knows he's made a huge mistake. Just wash too wide. You know, come through clipping point 6, wash towards the wall, had to kind of do a rolly burnout, kind of straight
to bring it back down.
Yeah.
It's a shame because that was quite a good run in general, wasn't it? It was a lot cleaner for both of them. But then again, just at the last little turn and a little mistake cost you everything.
Cost him everything. We're going to find out from our judges who will be the victor, who will go through to the next level of competition. So I can confirm, ladies and gentlemen, taking the win will be Willie Hanna. Willie Hanna takes the win and moves through to the top 16. Unfortunately, Nerigis there just making too many errors, and for me it was that big error there. You know, he made that huge error coming out into clipping point 7 and just gets himself mixed up. So Willie Hanna advances through. Just one more time to go. We got tongue-tied then. One more time to go.
We've done that a few times today, though, haven't we?
Yeah.
When we talk this much all day, it's bound to happen.
You come out with some rubbish.
Yeah.
I do, especially me. Off the line, Josh King, Ash Jones. And Josh King absolutely flying, leaving Ash Jones standing still right now, but very wide. Josh King barely holds on to that as he transitions in the middle of the circuit there. And again, you see Ash Jones making that mistake. Josh King looks very scrappy, tagging the tyres once again as he puts himself nice and high on that wide line and finishes up the run. So judges just deliberating that as we see a replay. Josh King absolutely flying through the first half of the circuit. Look, it leaves Ash Jones standing still. Scrappy in that lead position, doesn't really keep a hold of it. As Josh King again makes an error there. Gets into the tyres, runs the tyre wall with the back end of that E36 BMW.
Jones is just trying to catch him up, isn't he? But again, it's
just underpowered now. This is the problem. Yeah,
the
track's kind of get a little bit patchy on the right line. It's patchy, so you know Josh King's finding all the grip that's out there. Unfortunately, Ash Jones can't really do anything about it. Now they swap him around. Ash Jones to lead, Josh King to give chase, and Josh King right on the back end of that E36 BMW of the DKM car, and again
the same mistake he
made
last
the
time.
same mistake again. This time gets tagged on the back end by Josh King and removes the bumper. Josh King stays in it, so does Ash Jones, and they finish up the run. But yeah, again, makes the same mistake again.
Exactly the same place as well. It's catching him out.
Just like the car kind of over-rotates, there's something funky happens with the suspension. And he said to me earlier that the car's just not feeling 100% at the moment. Proves it there, 2 mistakes in the same place. What way do the judges deem that to be going? So we wait for it to drop in our system. And I will let you know as soon as it drops in who will take the win, who will be moving through and taking the last spot in our top 16. And I can confirm that Josh King gets the win, ladies and gentlemen. Josh King gets the win and advances through to the top 16. Unfortunately, Ash Jones knocked out of competition. So that's it. That is our top 16 decided. And that means we get to move on with the action. So up next, the first battle of our top 16 will be a Luke Barker to take on Davidas Pestrukas. So Luke Barker, you know, fulfilling everyone's expectations so far.
He certainly has been so far today, hasn't he?
He's been.
He's fast. He's accurate.
But now it's rained.
Yeah, that's it again.
Now it's rained.
The variable has happened.
Yeah, it's changed completely. What difference is that going to make to Luke and Davidas? As Davidas absolutely fires it in. Look at this. He knows this young gun is someone you don't want to let out of his sights right now. And Davidas is absolutely flying, but he's in the middle of the track. Has to lock the car up. Oh, and he makes a huge mistake, does Davidas. As Luke Barker puts foot to floor and the consistency shines through, completely drops that clipping point, though he's kind of offline now. Can Luke Barker find his way back to that qualifying line as Davidas does everything he can to try and keep with the young gun, but mistake after mistake there from the chase driver. So as we wait for those guys to get back to the start line. Has the rain stopped?
Has it stopped?
Has it stopped raining? It's just light precipitation apparently.
Oh, okay. That misty stuff.
Yeah, that wet rain.
Yeah, that wet rain.
So they're back on the line. It will be Davidas now to lead out Luke Barker. Luke Barker knows he has to bring the fight. Did a very, very good job in the lead position. And through the chicane they come, and Luke Barker all over the back end of that E46 BMW now, not giving Davidas any chance to get away. As Barker stays with him. Nice transition from Barker there as he transitioned perfectly in the middle of the circuit. Davidas on a very, very good lead line. Barker now needs to start pushing and try and gain some proximity, but he makes a huge error. He's way down on the bank. He's fighting for grip. As Davidas absolutely drives away to the end of that run.
That's a really interesting one because Barker was absolutely on it all the way around, wasn't he? I mean, the wet clearly doesn't bother him very much at all.
No, and then just kind of didn't really make a mistake, just fell behind.
Yeah, just fell down the bank a little bit at the end, but other than that, he's definitely one to watch, isn't he? He's
definitely one to watch. He's very, very interesting. What way do the judges see that one to go? Yeah, deliberating this now. Now we get down to the Grade 8, the nitty-gritty, the top 4. Decisions are going to get harder and harder and harder. This is what's going to make the weekend, make the championship. And we can confirm taking the win is Luke Barker, ladies and gentlemen. Luke Barker gets the win and advances through to our Grade 8. Unfortunately, Davidas not doing enough to advance through. We move it along. Kyle Farrar now to take on Nick Brady. Nick Brady. This is an interesting one. I had money on Luke Barker. Somebody else had money on Nick Brady. Though, if Nick Brady wins this battle, it'll be Luke Barker versus Nick Brady for a spot in the top 4.
That battle's going to be an interesting one.
It's going to be a very interesting battle. But first, before Nick Brady makes it into the Grade 8, he has got a battle. Kyle Farrar. Kyle Farrar has been on form, but Nick Brady pulls off of the line. Has he made a mistake? Did he just get a little bit carried away? Yeah. Nick Brady thought he was leading. He wasn't. He's chasing.
It's not his goal yet.
He's just
man.
too excited. Tell him relax, man. Nick Brady's so eager to do some driving that he was just like,
that's it. I mean,
get me out there.
Here's me saying relax, like they're relaxing any man
anyway,
down there. Yeah.
So off the line, Farrar to take on Brady right now. Brady will need to pull it all out of the bag. Kyle Farrar absolutely flying in that RX-8. Farrar doing a good job so far. Nick Brady left standing ever so slightly. Going to need to really start to reel in Cole Farrar if he's going to make a move forward in competition here. But Cole Farrar's car absolutely flying right now as he's almost a good 15-20 cars ahead. Brady starts to pull some ground, but it's too much too late as they bring it across the line.
Yeah, sorry, I thought I saw a bit of the rain cover in the shot. Yeah, I'm just trying to sort it out. Sorry about that. Yeah, I haven't fallen over.
So right, to get those guys back around to the start line. And we'll swap them around. Nick Brady will now get that opportunity to lead. He was so eager to get...
I know, he's just excited.
He was so eager to lead. Now he gets that chance.
Let's hope he makes the most of it then. He was excited enough a minute ago to get out there in the lead, so...
Yeah, no worries now. He just has to get on with it. So Nick Brady needs to pull it all out of the bag. Farrar put down an absolutely blinding lead run. Can Brady do the same, or will Cole Farrar not give him that opportunity to advance through into the Grade 8? Nick Brady though, absolutely flying so far, and I think Cole Farrar didn't assume that this was going to happen, Sarah. They transition in the middle of the track. Nick Brady just washes offline ever so slightly, but Brady now up a gear, gets into the bank, and Cole Farrar makes a few mistakes in that chase position, and now Cole Farrar finds himself lagging behind. A complete role reversal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we look to our judges to see exactly who is going to make it through to the Grade 8 to battle Luke Barker. Will it be Nick Brady? Will it be Cole Farrar?
It's got to be a close one, this.
Yeah, because they kind of both mirrored each other on the lead.
Yeah.
They both did the same thing on the lead, so... So judges deliberating this one right about now. As soon as they know the decision, we will get it put into our system. So judges, are they going to go one more time, or are they going to come to a decision? They just cannot make their minds up right now, and we are given the signal, Sarah. It's going to be a one more time, so it'll be a one more time between Nick Brady and Cole Farrar. But up first, we will see the battle of Hugh Saville and Ian Rutherford. Now, Rutherford, an experienced pro-am driver. Hugh Saville, kind of fresh to the game, kind of not fresh to the game. You know, he's a very good driver, but still a relatively new face to the BDC compared to Ian Rutherford. Off the line, though, it will be Hugh to lead in Rutherford. And Rutherford, if you remember rightly, in his top 32 battles, didn't let anyone get away. He's going to play the same game again with Hugh Saville. Hugh Saville, nice lead line at the moment. And Ian Rutherford just looks like he's ever so slightly getting out card here. As Hugh Saville puts foot to floor, that turbo V8 doing everything it needs to do as he drives away from the supercharged V8 of Ian Rutherford. So Ian Rutherford there just left behind him so slightly. Good initiation though, just kind of lost.
It was good, yeah, he was on his tail, but yeah, he just seemed to lose it slightly.
He just lost ground throughout the track. Yeah, for me it was Hugh Saville just had more car. Yes. You know, it was just out card.
In that run he just did, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he was just out card, that's all it came down to. It does look like those guys are coming straight back to the start line. They're going to get them swapped around and go again, and it obviously will be Hugh Saville now to chase and Ian Rutherford to lead. It looks like the track's slightly drying out, maybe. Can I make that assumption?
Possibly. It's not spitting as hard as it was 20 minutes ago, is it? So we might have slightly better grip now.
It's still damp though, as you can see on initiation. Both these guys absolutely flying in there, but Rutherford, very shallow initiation now. Hugh Saville not messing around, dives straight onto the door of Rutherford. Oh, Rutherford shuts it down.
Running wide.
is exactly it. He ran wide, he knew he was going to fall off track, he had to shut the car down and get back into it again, and Hugh Saville was all over the side of him. He also had to abort the run. So we wait to hear the decision from our judges and put it into our system. Who gets the win and advances through to the Grade 8? So Hugh Saville gets the win and advances through to the Grade 8, and we move it back to the one more time of Cole Farrar and Nick Brady. Slick Nick.
Slick Nick, is that his nickname?
His nickname, Slick Nick Brady.
We'll have to see if that's true then, eh?
Is he slick enough to slip into the top 8, the Grade 8?
That's a tongue twister. Let's find out.
Let's find out right now. Cole Farrar leads in Nick Brady. And Nick Brady and Cole Farrar felt each other out now, but Brady comes in super hot, almost making contact with the back of Farrar's car. Stays in it though. That was a brave move from Nick Brady. He knows he has to stay with Cole Farrar. He knows Cole Farrar's car is very fast. If he gives him an inch, it's going to take a while. A little straight in there from Brady as they now come nice and wide on the bank. And not as much separation this time as it was before, but that was a brave dive onto the door from Nick Brady. So thumbs up from our start line marshal, our track marshal Toby are ready to go. He's eager, he's just firing through these. He's on them. He's on them.
He must be cold.
He wants to go
he
home.
wants his
he wants
tea.
to go back. Yeah, wants to go back to the hotel and have a beer, a cold
and
beer.
a Parmo.
And a Parmo.
Yeah, we'll have to get him on it as well.
Toby's a chef. He's a chef.
We'll teach him how to make one then.
He's probably made them before, no doubt.
Not a proper Teeside
like
one,
a proper
though.
posh one, though.
Only Teesiders do Parmos, right? They'll all agree out there. It's a Teeside thing.
It's a Teeside thing. So Brady now sits in that lead position. Farrar to give chase. Farrar knows Brady didn't really give him an inch to move. He made that big dive on that transition into outer zone 4. And look at this. Brady pushes Farrar right to the edge of the circuit. Nice initiation from Slick Nick. What's he got, though? Can he hold it together as he makes that big dive? Look at this. Farrar really needs to pull his socks up. Can he hold on to it? Brady's very wide. And Farrar doesn't seem to have the proximity that Brady had. As the track now starts to dry out, the variable changes once again as Farrar hunts down the side of that Jason's Metals R33 Nissan Skyline, and Brady takes it across the line. Tough one for our judges right there.
Yeah, I really don't envy their job having to decide between some of these battles because they're really close.
They are very, very close indeed. Who will be going through to battle Luke Barker for a spot in the Grade 8? And it will be Nick Brady. Nick Brady gets the win and advances through to the Grade 8. So Luke Barker and Nick Brady have got what I wanted. Finally, it's happened. We're moving it on. It will be Martin Cowley now to take on Charles Funnell. These two guys have been pushing really hard. This will be the decider to see who will battle Hugh Saville. So off the line, Cowley to lead out Funnell. And a bit of separation already, but a big mistake there for Charles Funnell. Charles Funnell made a huge error. Charles Funnell made a huge error after initiation, had to straighten the car up ever so slightly. As Martin Cowley now stands on the accelerator, Funnell knows he needs to get himself back into the fight. Can he do so?
He's certainly giving it his all, isn't he? He's got the gap's closed again there.
Oh, look at this. Starts to push onto the door. Almost made contact as they come across the line. Good stuff there from Charles Funnell. So as you can see, these guys straight down, straight back round to the start line. No messing around. They know exactly what they want to do. They're in the zone. They're buzzing. Back on the start line. And Charles Funnell now will lead out Martin Cowley. So Funnell off the line at Cowley to give chase. And Cowley knows that Funnell brought the fight. Can he repay the favour? Looking good so far. Charles Funnell nice and deep on that very, very wide line. Oh, look at this, Martin Cowley door on door as they come through the first hairpin. Look at this from Martin Cowley as he transitions through the smoke, makes a dive onto the door once again. Martin Cowley not letting Charles Funnell get away right now. He needs to make one last ditch attempt at diving on the door, but Funnell's car is super fast. as he puts foot to floor, and they take it across the line. Magic stuff. Magic stuff from both those guys.
That's got to be one of the closest battles we've seen all afternoon.
Yeah, and these are going to get better and better and better and better until we get all the way.
It can't get better, surely.
They're going to get better and better all the way through to the final, and we're going to see that time and time again. So we looked at our system to see who takes the win, and I can confirm Martin Cowley, ladies and gentlemen, takes the win. Martin Cowley takes the win and advances through to the Grade 8. Up next, it will be Maciek to take on Paul Cunnington. And Cunnington in that secret performance, S15 or 14.5, 14.5, 15.4.
One of them.
One of them. And Maciek into that S14. The European driver coming over here to upset the UK balance. What has he got? Can he make himself known in the Grade 8? Or will Cunnington walk away with this one? And a very strange initiation there from Maciek. Kind of left it too late. Didn't know what Cunnington was going to do. Cunnington looking comfortable right now in that lead position as they transition into outer zone 5. Oh, what a straighten there from Maciek. Maciek's kind of lost his flow.
Yeah, he has. This is the first one I've seen him actually, you know, lose his flow like this. So is it the pressure of, you know, rising up the races?
Yeah,
or, you know,
these guys now, every battle that we get through, these guys are getting better and better. So for Maciek, this is becoming a harder and harder battle every time. Did Paul Cunnington just bring the fight to him? Is that what, you know, is that what we see? So that's just a replay from the previous run. So those guys make their way around and back to the start line, and it will now be Maciek's opportunity to lead out Paul Cunnington. And our start line, Marshall Melks just goes back. Does look like the rain stopped. It's getting a little bit lighter. The track's drying out ever so slightly. The right line is drying out.
Yeah.
So thumbs up from everybody in the tower. Maciek to lead, Paul Cunnington to give chase. And Maciek straight through the chicane, no messing around. Look at the separation already as Maciek fires in that S14. He knows he needs to do it, but he's debeaded a tyre. Maciek debeaded a tyre. Can he continue with just one tyre? No, he can't. And contact as they spin in the middle of the circuit.
All the action's happening now, isn't it?
Frills and spills.
I wonder if we've got a drone shot yet. Here we are.
Incredible stuff.
It's such a shame because he was doing really well as well.
Maciek was absolutely flying, and just getting the shout from the judges there that it will be Maciek that gets the win. Sorry, Paul Cunnington that gets the win and advances through. My bad. So I just want to see a replay of that tyre coming off. That was.
I don't want to see a slow-mo of that.
Look at this.
Look at
boom,
that.
There it goes.
Wow.
Paul Cunnington.
And then it flies up in the air.
He hits it and it fires it off onto the other side of the track, and that is it.
He runs over his own tyre. I don't know if I've seen that before.
That's the first and a
Yeah,
last,
all
in one weekend. See, listen, I told you when you got this job, you was going to see that stuff you'd never seen before, and you see crazy guys smashing into each other with tyres flying up in the air.
I was promised entertainment, and I think I've got it.
You've got motorsport entertainment.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. But it does look like we do need recovery for Maciek. So we're going to get our live camera over there just to give you guys a little insight and a little, you know, a little look at what's going on there, as you can see.
Look at the drama.
Wireless camera.
That'll be not a very happy driver.
Or is that our recorded? Oh, that's our recorded camera, unfortunately. That's not our live feed. So just 2 more battles to go. Sorry, 3 more battles to go. Lewis Baker to take on Stu Jones. Louis Edwards to take on Willie Hanna, and Polius Judeus to take on Josh King. And that'll be our top 16 decided. And we get onto our Grade 8 final 4. And then the all-important podium. As you can see, podium assembled down in front of the BDC truck, right underneath where me and Sarah are positioned with our judges.
He's got his half a tyre.
He's got to keep that as a memento.
Keep
it as a memento.
Put it on your wall.
This is what happens when you underinflate a tyre. That's what happens. So don't forget, a huge thank you to all our sponsors that made all of this possible this weekend. A shout out to Competition Clutch, Semco Sport, Corbeau, M-Tech Brakes, Hell Performance, OBP Motorsport, Funk Motorsport, Slide Motorsport, Tarmac Sports, Simpson Europe, On It, Drift Games, AM Details, Yellow Speed Racing and Excite Energy. And like I keep saying, Excite Energy in our trade village area with that simulator, which I'm going to show Sarah later on how good I am at driving.
I reckon I can beat you.
You reckon?
Yeah, I'm confident.
I'm not sure.
Well, bring it on. Let's see.
You've drove a rally car before.
And?
You're one step ahead there, just ever so slightly. I'm not sure.
I've got to pretend I'm confident even if I'm wrong. Just to put you off.
Just to put me off. So, Maciek's car there just getting recovered onto the back of the recovery truck. As you can see there, that recovery truck used more times this weekend than most other facilities here.
Unfortunately. But it has been raining, so...
It has.
It's going to throw something into the mix, isn't it?
The rain completely changes. Like we said, you know, I can't stress how much that rain on the track completely changes the grip level. Look at that tyre, look. Pops off. Paul Cunnington gives it a little love tap. Over the wall it goes. Well, as soon as we get that car off the track and our track marshals are happy, we will move on with our competition. As I say, it will be Lewis Baker to take on Stu Jones. Stu Jones in that V8 Turbo S14 to take on Lewis Baker, the man, the showman in the BDC. So Stu Jones warms his tyres and pulls to the line. He is ready to rock and roll. And Lewis Baker there in the background, just scrubbing his tyres, warming himself up. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as Maciek makes his way off the circuit. These guys, they build all these amazing race cars and then they just come here and just absolutely trash them. Smash them into each other.
They must love it, really. They
it's fun.
Do.
It's good fun.
Yeah,
it's good fun. Very good fun. So in the background, I can hear Lewis Baker warming up his tyres. He's ready to do action. We can see our start line marshal Melk's down there, ready to go. We get the thumbs up from our track manager. The judges are ready. Everybody here in the tower is ready. Teeside, are you ready? Let's get this place warmed up as Stu Jones comes off the line. Absolutely flying now is Stu Jones, Lewis Baker. Left standing ever so slightly. Oh, makes a big error. Lewis Baker makes a big error as they come into the outer zone 4 now. Stu Jones is back onto the accelerator once again, and Lewis Baker makes another error. That car not 100%, and look at Stu Jones absolutely flying as he takes it to the wall across the line. Brilliant stuff. Very, very good stuff there from Stu Jones. Lewis Baker just got left behind again. Initiation once again.
Got left behind again. I mean, the thing is, though, the competition is hotting up now, isn't it? We're getting towards the last battles. It's getting harder and harder each time, and you can really see that coming out in the drivers.
Yeah, what you tend to find is as we move through competition now, the guys that win the battles and progress through Grade 8, Top 4, they're more consistent drivers. So they've got the same line, same speed, very aggressive. And that plays itself all the way through. So what happens is you end up with 4 of the best drivers that are the same consistency, same speed, and not scared to put the car door on door. I think we're going to find Stu Jones inside that Grade 8 before he can get to the Top 4. But can Lewis Baker stop that, or will Stu Jones take full advantage of the situation. Nice initiation from Lewis Baker. Very shallow, though, on clipping point 2. Oh, and he's deep. And almost contact there from Stu Jones. He had to bail out of it. And Lewis Baker there, the showman, just making an error. Unfortunately, knocking himself out of competition in my eyes. We need to make it official from our judges. And I can confirm taking the winner moving through is Stu Jones. Stu Jones gets the win and advances through to the Grade 8. And just 2 more battles to go of our top 16. And we move into the Grade 8, and then that is it. It's going to be over. The first day
already?
Done and dusted. Yeah, day 1 done already.
I'm glad we've got another day.
You won't be saying that tomorrow night. Yeah. Tomorrow night you'll be like, I'm sick of drifting. I'm not coming to BDC round 2. So as we see there, just checking out the last tail end of that replay, you can see Stu Jones and Lewis Baker, but too late for Lewis Baker, unfortunately a mistake there, knocks himself out of competition. Up next it will be Louis Edwards to take on Willie Hanna. Now, Mr. Technical, can he get overturned?
Anything can happen, we've said it before.
Yeah, anything can happen, exactly that. Anything can change in the last minute. Off the line, Louis Edwards to lead out Willie Hanna. Nice initiation from Edwards, nice and deep into our zone 2. Willie Hanna stays very precarious, he's on the middle of the circuit.
Yeah. It's that initiation, they're doing it not quite at the right time and the right angle, and it's just setting them up all wrong. And I just think you can't recover from that. If you've gone into the, the third clipping point at the wrong angle, you just can't seem to recover from that at all.
No, exactly. You've nailed it. Look at
it's
Willie
too far
Hanna's
down
run
the
now.
track.
It's completely messed up his run. And Louis Edwards, the technical man, you pointed him out earlier, he nailed it. He absolutely nailed that lead line. He's been doing the same thing all weekend. Very, very technical. We could see him in the final.
I think we've got some Louis Edwards fans in there.
Is there any Louis Edward fans? Just a couple, just 1 or 2, I think, maybe 1.
They're a bit too subdued, though. I think they need to be a bit louder.
No, you're not going to get it yet. So Louis Edwards pulls to the line now in that chase position. Willie Hanna knows where he fell apart earlier on. Can he kind of claw something back, or will Louis Edwards take the rein and move forward into that Grade 8? They're off the line. Edwards knocks down Cones, but he's on the back bumper and at this end Skyline. Good initiation from both guys, but again Willie Hanna makes that mistake, initiates very early and voids out of zone 2. Louis Edwards stays at that qualifying line, doing what the judges would have asked him to do in the briefing earlier on. Willie Hanna, look, completely dropping all of the zones, making a whole host of errors. Looks like he's just trying to escape. Looks like Willie Hanna's just trying to drive away.
Maybe that's it, he's just scared of him. He just needs to get away.
Just wants to get away and be done with it. So we wait for the scores to get input into our system. Who takes the win and moves through to the Grade 8? Will it be Louis Edwards? Will it be Willie Hanna? I can confirm taking the win is Louis Edwards. Louis Edwards gets the win and advances through to the Grade 8. Unfortunately there for Willie Hanna. Just, it's too many mistakes. Too many mistakes to try and overturn.
Unfortunately, he wasn't going to recover from that very easily.
We move it along to the final battle of our top 16. It will be Paulius Judeus to take on Josh King. Josh King narrowly got through to the top 16. I'm going to say that's a brave thing to say, but he narrowly got through. He's very lucky. He's a very good driver, but the rain held him back earlier. Now he's not messing around. This is the Josh King we know. Oh, and a spin right in front of the judging tower for Paulius Judeus. Tried to carry the full commitment of Josh King, but just couldn't pull it off.
The pressure's starting to hit them now.
Yeah,
I think that's what
now
it
you're
is.
seeing what's happening. Yeah, now you're kind of seeing what's going on and how these guys in competition feel the pressure, feel how good some of these guys are.
Absolutely. I mean, we know he can do it, otherwise he wouldn't have got to this position anyway.
Exactly, and he qualified well,
Yeah,
so.
And unfortunately, you're left with this where you've just got that too much pressure.
Yeah. Exactly, just pure pressure. Josh King come flying in, nice initiation, nice and deep on 2. Paulius just fell apart. He knew as soon as they initiated, that was it, it was over. Look at this. Initiation. Tried to carry the commitment and just got it all wrong.
And it's easy done.
Yes,
It
so
is easy done.
Just like that.
And the track is still damp as well, so, you know.
Are you making excuses for him?
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to be...
You're trying to help him out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to be polite.
Trying to be a friend.
Friend!
Trying to be a friend. Josh King sits on the line in that chase position. Now we await Paulius to make his way back to the start line. Is he calling a 5-minute rule? And it would appear, yeah, a 5-minute rule has been called by Paulius Judeus. That means Josh King will back off the line. And we will not continue with competition until we get the return of Paulius Judeus.
So is that his decision to take the
5-minute
rule?
So he wants to, you know, look, he's spun in front of the judging tower, so he maybe feels that might be something wrong with the car. I want to check it out. I've got 5 minutes allocated time to do that in the pits. That timer won't start until Paulius gets into his pit area and his mechanics get their hands on that car.
Yeah.
So as soon as hands are on the car, the countdown clock starts. Our track marshal will have a 5-minute clock running. Certainly. So we're just going to quickly cut and give me and Sarah a 2-minute break, and we're going to cut to a word from our sponsors. So we are back alive here at BDC round 1. Just a quick 2 seconds. Sarah was doing some star jumps around the tower.
Trying to keep warm. Trying to keep warm.
Need to go to Tesco's on the way home and get some thermals.
Yeah, I think I should, and some little hand warmers. No, the ones you click and it's
the
like
click,
gel,
that's it, yeah. You can put, just get a bodysuit made of them. Just click it and just sit there warm all day.
I might wear it tomorrow.
So you can see Nick Brady has made his way to the start line. He's just going to quickly warm his tyres. Now, this is the battle that I wanted to see, because it will, for a spot in the final 4, it will be a Luke Barker to take on Nick Brady. Now, I had money on Luke Barker. Nick Brady's my mate, so I'm betting against my mate in one kind of way.
Shocking.
But someone else had money on Nick Brady, so everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
Except the loser who doesn't make it through to the top 4.
This is going to be a really, really interesting battle, though.
It's going to be a very, very interesting battle. We can see Melks has just disappeared off the start line on his push bike. He's gone away, he's had enough. Maybe he's cold.
No, he's just warming up as well.
He's just warming up as well. He's just getting himself prepared.
Barker and Brady, though, have been really consistent.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough battle. I've seen Nick Brady hit people so many times, so hard, and smash windows and go door to door, and have no regard to the other competitor's car, which is what I love to see, and that's what everyone else loves to see.
Yeah, well, it's crowd pleasing, isn't it?
Exactly.
If you're going to go in, it's go big or go home, isn't it?
Exactly that, and it's a spot in the final 4 at round 1. And you know what that means if you get inside that final 4?
Go on.
It means you get to drive tomorrow with our pro drivers. So not only do you have a shot at the podium twice, you get to drive tomorrow with our pro drivers. Another day of driving.
That's incentive enough, isn't it?
That's more than an incentive. For me, that's just like, let's go for this.
Yes.
I know Luke Barker is going to want to go for it. He's going to want to stand on the podium today, and he's going to want to stand on the podium tomorrow. Can he do it?
Who knows? But I reckon he's in with a good shot.
He's in with a very, very good shot right now. As we just see there, Paulius Judeus. So we're just going to quickly return to the final battle of our top 16, which will be Paulius Judeus and Josh King. That was a 5-minute rule called by Paulius. So he made his allocated time. He got himself back onto the grid before the 5-minute clock ran out. Probably nothing wrong with that car, but he has that 5 minutes.
It gives him a chance to at least check.
Exactly. And if he makes it through this and it makes it through his top 8 battle, he gets another 5-minute rule in the top 4. So then he can, if anything happens again, he can check his car. But now he's used that 5-minute rule, he only gets one within the top 32 bracket, should we say.
So if he wasn't ready within that 5 minutes...
Disqualified from competition, unfortunately. A sad way to go out, really. You know.
Is, but sometimes you've just got to take that risk, haven't you, and try and do anything you can to get back out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of just giving up, at least that's, you know, another chance to get back out there.
Exactly. Sometimes some things aren't fixable in 5 minutes. I've seen people change differentials and have gearboxes out of cars in 5 minutes. So off the line, Paulius now to lead out Josh King with that 10-0 advantage, but Paulius again jumps the curb, gets it very, very wrong. Josh King is going to be sitting back in that car thinking, what are you doing, buddy, because you're getting this way wrong right now. Nevertheless, Josh King sticks to that qualifying line, and a big correction again there. Oh, wow, and contact. If it's not hard enough, your car cuts out. Josh King says, move out of my way, and pushes him with the back end of that 36. What a savage. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So we just await to get the decision on our system. And it's going to be pretty clear cut.
Yeah,
it's going to be pretty clear cut.
I think it's going to be. He backed off and got in his way.
Yep.
You know.
And there we go. Josh King gets the win and advances through to the Great 8. Unfortunately there for Paulius. Not only did he have to call the 5-minute rule, but he got hit by Josh. And it's not playing fair, is it?
Well, it's a bit harsh, isn't it? It's a bit harsh, but that is the way it goes. And sometimes when you're behind somebody so close, you don't have anywhere to go.
There was nowhere for Josh King to go. Josh King, look at this.
Yeah.
You can see Josh King fully locked up. He had no option but to make contact with the back end of Paulius's car. Well, that's done, and that means we get to go back to the love story of Luke Barker and Nick Brady. Slick Nick.
Slick Nick. We need a nickname for Luke as well.
Yeah, we do.
We'll work on that.
Yeah. Top Gun or something crazy like that. You know, he's really good, isn't he? He's like Maverick.
Yeah, we could call him the Maverick. That would work. We'll have to get him some aviator shades.
He's probably got
He's
some.
probably
got some. So we get the thumbs up from our track marshal as Luke Barker warms up his tyres. Nick Brady now makes his way into the tyre warming area. This is going to be a battle that a lot of people have wanted to see.
Me included.
Money was on Brady, money was on Barker. Yeah. Barker, like I said earlier, is the name that everyone's had in their lips for the last couple of days now, and he went over and absolutely ruined the Irish in the Drift Games Nationals Championship. What's he got this weekend? Almost makes contact with Brady. Brady on the back bumper, not giving him any room to manoeuvre. As Slick Nick puts foot to floor, but can he keep up with the young gun? Right now as they come into the outer zone 4, Brady knows that Barker's fast. He starts to apply the pressure, door on door. Oh, but Brady gets himself caught up in the middle of the track and has to shut it down. But so does Luke Barker. What happened there? So what happened there? Yeah, someone in the crowd just shouted out broke a shaft. Did Luke Barker break a drive shaft? We're going to try and get a replay and have a look exactly what happened there. Nick Brady looked like he got himself caught up on the transition. Door on door, it just didn't allow himself enough room to transition back again. But then Luke Barker slowed the car down. Or did Nick hit the wheel of Luke Barker's car?
Yeah, did he tap the back and then that's caused him to...
We've seen it before, just a wheel tapping a wheel can break a drive shaft very, very easily. This is where it happens. They come round here. He's on throttle. Yeah, he broke a drive shaft. Luke Barker broke a drive shaft and Nick Brady stopped drifting. Is that why Nick Brady stopped drifting?
Yeah, which came first?
What come first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
we've got another view, another angle. Our judges might want to see that. Look at this as they come round.
No, I don't think
there
was contact.
I don't think. Yeah, you're right. I don't think there was any contact. I'm 100% with you there. There wasn't any contact. I think Barker's car just failed. Nick Brady noticed that the car was drastically slowing down where he's only drifting on one wheel, backed out of it.
Yeah.
Wow, Luke Barker's weekend. could be in the mix.
You see,
we're going to move
anything
it.
all the time.
All the time. We're going to find out what happened exactly there and what has been the call, whether it's... So judges, before we move on, judges need to work out, was there contact? They're saying that they don't think there was contact. If there was contact, Barker will be given a competition timeout to fix that car. Here we're going to see another angle from the commentary tower. So we're going to try and go to another replay of the camera angle from the commentary tower and see if that gives us a better angle at all of what happened. So there we go, Luke Barker. Yeah, Nick Brady's too far away, in my opinion, to make any form of contact. Look at this. No, there was no contact.
I don't think there was,
no, there was no contact. You called it first, Sarah. You called it.
Yay.
You're learning.
I got something right.
So we're going to move it along. I do believe that Luke Barker's team would have called a 5-minute rule. So Luke Barker has called a 5-minute rule. He has now got 5 minutes to change drive shaft. You're going to see how fast these guys work. They work really quick now. Off the line, though, we're going to move it along to Hugh Saville to take on Martin Cowley.
This is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, both these guys now, they're starting to see both similar cars, similar power, similar aggression, very consistent. Martin Cowley, a good driver, and so is Hugh Saville, who is going to take it through to the top 4. Nice initiation, but look at Cowley. Cowley narrowly avoiding contact with the back end of that Toyota Corolla there, as Hugh Saville now puts foot to floor. Cowley all over the back of him, though. There's no getting rid of Martin Cowley right now for Hugh Saville. Look at that, almost making contact with the side of that car, but has to back out of it, does Cowley, and give Hugh Saville the opportunity to drive away. Mega aggression there from Martin Cowley.
Fantastic from a spectator point of view.
Yeah, very, very good stuff there from Martin Cowley. A very good aggression. We look for a quick replay. You can see Martin Cowley not messing around. He knows that he has to be door on door. But it was a small mistake on the initiation from Hugh Saville. Yeah, he kind of got out of it ever so slightly, got back into it. And by that time, Martin Cowley was like, hey, buddy, I'm here. Here I am. And I'm not going anywhere. But this is where there was separation. Was there a mistake from Cowley? No, he just didn't really get the slingshot out of the clipping point to make his way up the bank high enough, and Martin Cowley finished off the run. Full lock, smoke from the tyres. He now sits in the lead position as Hugh Saville chases him down. And Hugh Saville now needs to repay the favour and be all over the side of that black and orange S14. Good so far. Good job from Martin Cowley so far. Hugh Saville tries to find his way through the smoke, but he's got a massive mistake. Massive mistake from Hugh Saville as he straightens up. And again, Hugh Saville struggling to get that car on any form of angle there through the bank. And those guys head back towards the pits, and I do believe the judges have made a decision straight away. And there we go, taking the win and moving through to the final 4, ladies and gentlemen, is Martin Cowley. Martin Cowley gets the win, and there's a few Martin Cowley fans starting to get warm out there a little bit. They're starting to cheer now. They're getting geared up for tomorrow, that's what it is.
They've had dinner.
Martin Cowley now, Martin Cowley, first person to drop into our final 4, so he'll be the first driver of the weekend that's got a shot at a podium and got a shot with the pros tomorrow. So competition heating up. Look at that massive error.
That's what
you spotted that straight away.
You
was like, you looked at that. You was like, aha, come on, man, you can do better than that.
And he can as well.
He can. This is the problem. He
the
can.
Pressure, isn't it?
He knows how hard Martin Cowley went, and he had to bring that fight. And that's one small error. You're out. That is it. You're done. Stu Jones now warms up his tyres in the warm-up area. He gets called to the line by our start line Marshall Melks. And Stu Jones will be doing battles with Paul Cunnington. I do believe they are friends. Nothing like battling your mate.
Will that make it better or worse, though?
Well, you kind of know, where you stand. You've already seen them drive in style, and that's why I used to beat Gaz Taylor, our judge, quite a lot, because I knew him and I knew how bad he was at driving. So I was like,
will he
this
agree
is
with that
easy.
statement,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
He's nodding now. He's like, yeah, no, this is true, this is true. And I beat his brother as well, yeah. It's just, they've got a photo of me in there on their mantelpiece in their family home. This guy.
Like an idol.
Like an idol. Off the line, Stu Jones and Paul Cunnington make their way down. And look at this, Stu Jones, 3/4 of the way over the edge of the track, using all of it as possible. Big flick, though, from Stu Jones, pops a wheel in the air. But Paul Cunnington right with him, door on door as they come through that outer zone 4. Cunnington transitions back onto the door once again. Stu Jones is not messing around, puts foot to floor. Cunnington now starts to get left behind ever so slightly. Can he pick up the pace? Stu Jones's car is like an absolute rocket. Stu Jones's car is so quick, it's unbelievable. As soon as he shifts up a gear and he gets into that bank, foot to floor, he is gone.
He's gone, yeah.
So we get those guys back on the line and swap back around again. It will be Cunnington now to lead out Jones. So Cowley and Cunnington just holding, sorry, it was Cunnington and Jones just holding back there, maybe having a word with their spotters at the back of the hot pits there, you know, cooling down the car, getting a cheeky word. Was I good? Did my hair look good?
Yeah, do you
Did
think
you
they're worried
update my
about
Insta?
Yeah.
Off the line, Cunnington to lead, Stu Jones to give chase. Now Stu Jones' opportunity to repay the favour and trade some paint with Paul Cunnington on that secret performance car. Well, look at that four-wheel lock-up and contact. A four-wheel lock-up and contact from Stu Jones. He gets himself back in it, but he's made a massive mistake. Oh, and again, Stu Jones takes it off track in front of the judging tower, and it hits the tyres. And he'll be majorly angry with himself. And we wait the judges to put the score into the system and make it official. Who's going through to the final 4? And I can confirm, taking the win and advancing through, Secret Performance's very own Paul Cunnington. Paul Cunnington gets the win and advances through. I'm sure I can see Danny McGuire there running back to the pits. Yep, there's big Danny McGuire. There he is. Hello, mate. Don't fall over. He's huge. He's literally Shrek in a human body. So we move it back to the Nick Brady, Luke Barker. An interesting one.
Yeah, it's hotting up now.
So we don't know. We don't actually know who's advantage. Who's at advantage with the Luke Barker, Nick Brady? Luke Barker, Nick Brady. Who's advantage, disadvantage? Can we? Oh, they're being very.
They're being secretive, aren't they?
I mean, come on. What's that all about? Not even a little insight to, you know, who's got an advantage.
They're making us wait.
They're making us wait. They know what they know, and that's it. They know I've got money riding on this. I'm either going to be eating tonight or just going straight to bed. I've got fizzy cola bottles here, that'll do me.
Will you survive on that for the rest of the weekend?
Probably not. On the line, it will be Slick Nick Brady to lead out Luke Barker, the young gun, the top gun, the Maverick.
Maverick, I like this. We're going to go with this one.
We're going to go with that, the Maverick. Look at this, Brady straight over to the opposite side of the track. Barker on the back bumper. They're initiating, absolutely flying. But oh, Slick Nick gets it wrong. Slick Nick gets it wrong, drags a cone.
That is so close there between those two.
These guys absolutely flying right now. Brady stays into it. Luke Barker finds the opportunity to dive onto the door, but Luke Barker now making some sloppy mistakes in that chase position. Nick Brady gets nice and high on the bank. Barker with him door on door as they push each other across the line. Teeside makes some noise. And I show you appreciation for Luke Barker and Nick Brady. Brady's car literally hopped over that initiation, that clipping point 2. Watch this. Nice fast initiation. Look at the speed he carries, but goes too wide. Boom, pops the wheel up in the air, carries the cone, spits it out. He says, Barker, you can have that. I don't need it anymore. fires that car into outer zone 4, gets the foot down, and Barker's like, you know what, buddy, I'm here to party, and this is me, and then, oh, buddy, got it wrong.
Just got it wrong there, didn't he? Which is such a shame, because that's not the standard we've seen from Barker for the rest
Barker
of the day.
has been incredible all
But
weekend.
Again, the pressure's on now. It's all still to play for, isn't it, really?
Exactly. We don't know what the judges deemed before. We don't know how they see that. Did they see, you know, Nick stopped drifting first? Was Nick at fault? Did Nick stop drifting because Luke's drive shaft broke?
Yeah.
Oh, did Nick stop drifting because he doesn't like the colour of Luke's car? These are all variables that the judges will look at.
They are.
But they're still talking about it. Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, the decision is in. Taking a spot in the final 4 to battle Martin Cowley for a spot in the final. The winner is Nick Brady. Nick Brady gets the win and advances through to the final 4. Unfortunately, Maverick, the top gun, Luke Barker knocked out of competition. Tough battle, but you know what? The drive shaft break, the little problems he had. Oh, do you know what? That guy, he's one to watch. He has got some serious talent, and I'm telling you what, round 2 he's going to come back bigger and better. We move it along. The final battle of our final, grade 8, sorry, our final 4 is Louis Edwards to take on Josh King. And then that is it. It's our grade 8 and then our final 4. Our final 4 is going to be heated. All these guys pushing 110%. Can Louis Edwards' consistency and technical skill behind the wheel find him a place inside the final 4?
There.
And your face there,
wow.
As Josh King pops a wheel up in the air to say hi. Incredible stuff. Josh King not messing around. I said he was a 110% driver 110% of the time, and he doesn't disappoint. Look at this, Louis Edwards just out-carred and outpaced by Josh King right now as King puts the foot down and absolutely motors away from young Louis Edwards.
It's just changing the field so much now, isn't it? I've been behind Edwards all day.
And then
looking
all of a sudden, look at this, the initiation from Josh King. Watch this, nice fast initiation. Drops a wheel, look at that, boom, pops a wheel in the air, no messing around, stays in it.
I love that, awesome.
4-wheel lock up from Edwards. The good thing for me that I love about Louis Edwards is he stayed committed, he stayed on that qualifying line, he didn't deviate from that qualifying line, and look, he knew he didn't have the pace, so he stuck on it, he stuck that qualifying line, he did what he had to do. How that's going to play out for him now with Josh King in the chase position, I'm not sure. Josh King's lead was just phenomenal. He's got the power, he's got one JZ or 2 JZ under the bonnet, I do believe. The JK Services E36 BMW now chases down the All-Italia Louis Edwards E36 BMW, and look at King on the back bumper on initiation. And this time both cars almost pop a wheel off the tarmac. Oh, but Josh King gets it wrong ever so slightly, goes majorly too wide. Has to rein it back in as Louis Edwards stays cool, calm and collected as they transition into outer zone 5. Josh King now looks for the back bumper of Louis' E36 and starts to force the pressure as they come through the final clipping point. Door on door and across the line. Teeside makes some noise for Josh King and Louis Edwards. It's getting good.
It's absolutely amazing. So this is just so exciting now. We get to the final round.
The final 4.
It's just amazing.
It's decided, and I can confirm, ladies and gentlemen, taking the winner, moving through to the final 4 is Josh King. Josh King gets the win and advances through into competition. And that is it. Our final 4 drivers of the day are decided. Up first, it will be Nick Brady to battle Martin Cowley for a spot in the final. And then it will be Paul Cunnington to battle Josh King for the same opportunity. And then one more battle to decide who will take the final step on the podium, that 3rd place step. Don't forget, all 4 of these guys will be heading into competition tomorrow with our pro drivers. If they wish, they don't have to, they can take the opportunity. I know that most of these guys are going to jump.
You're going to want to get that opportunity in the bag, aren't you?
Yeah. Especially to drive this track. They've had some serious seat time. They're good contenders for qualifying. We're in a top 24 tomorrow, so it's even harder for these guys to qualify and get through competition. We obviously have a quick, break in action as we allow those guys to get in the pits and get their cars sorted out. So don't forget, if you're local, you're watching online at home now. I know it rained.
Only for like 20 minutes, though.
Yes, it's an umbrella thing. You can sort that out. It's not a problem. come down, get involved tomorrow. Live DJ. We've got our, you know, our village out there with everything going on. Yeah, our little entertainment village.
We've got the RC cars.
Got the RC cars going on. We've got trade stands. We've got the guys from Excite Energy down with their amazing motorsport rig with their simulator in there. Get in there, have a chat with them guys, have a look around. Come down, meet the drivers on our top 24 or our, you know, our qualifying grid. All of them cars will be out in front of you. Come down, meet the drivers, touch the cars, have a look around them. Some of these cars that these guys build are absolutely magnificent machines. A lot of money, a lot of time and effort goes into them. Some of them you won't see again because I know some of them are going to Europe. So
interesting.
I
so
can't give away too much.
Yeah. Get yourself
down. Come down, enjoy the action. I don't know what the weather forecast is for tomorrow. I'm not even going to look because I always curse it.
Yeah.
Come down, enjoy it. Like I say, live DJ. This place is going to be rocking. We're going to put on a show for you guys. You'd be mad to miss it, right?
You'd be mad to miss it. Absolutely mad to miss it. This track is fantastic. It's on our doorstep.
Except what?
Get
not
yourself
mine.
Down. Not yours, but you
it's
have to be.
It's a long way off my doorstep. My doorstep's not that long.
No, not quite. But everyone from Teeside.
Yeah, exactly. If you're in the local area, if you're from Middlesbrough or surrounding areas, get yourself in. You know, come on down. Gates on the tickets. Tickets on the gate all weekend. Tickets online. You can still buy tickets online. Merchandise here from the Loza and the girls in the merchandise tent.
Yeah.
Still haven't got a hat. My ears are freezing.
Oh no, you keep saying this, but I'm not giving you my hat.
I'll keep trying until I go get my own one in about 20 minutes' time. So we're just waiting to get our top four, our final four drivers prepped and ready back on track. These guys are going to get fueled and tyres and get themselves pumped up and ready to do battle. The podium awaits for some of these guys. So I do hear the rumble of a drift car in the background. Who is it going to be to pull to the line first? It should be Nick Brady and Martin Cowley. Those guys should be gridded and ready to go. Fresh tyres, more fuel, and you can see our new BDC start line ladies.
Yeah, in their snazzy outfits with their new designs on.
Their new design body. Can you buy them body warmers down there?
I don't know, but I would really like to buy one because I think they're so trendy.
Hint to the governor.
Yeah.
Hint to the governor
I'll
how good you would
I'll
look
hint
in
to the
one.
gov later on,
Yeah, just hint to the governor later on and say like, no, I'd look it good in one of them. Just hook me up.
Hook me up, bruv.
Hook me up. Nick Brady makes his way to the start line. Our start line marshal Melks gets his hand in the air. He waits. He's thumbs up from our track manager Toby. And Martin Cowley appears in the background to scrub his tyres as well. So this is it. The winner of this battle will find themselves in the final. The final at round one here at Teeside 2019. And we've got the thumbs up from everybody. Our marshals are ready. Our judges are ready. I'm ready. Are you ready, Sam?
I'm ready. I can feel the tension.
Teeside, are you ready?
Some of them
Get in there. For the final, I want some ear-shattering cheering. Here we go. We're off the line for a spot in the final awaits. Slick Nick off the line, followed by Martin Cowley. Cowley, an early initiation. Tries to get onto the door. Oh, but Cowley gets it wrong. Cowley gets it wrong. And Slick Nick Brady puts foot to floor, Sarah, and he must be absolutely buzzing right now.
You just can't even predict what's going to happen, can you? I mean, you can see the skill he's got from the beginning of the day, but the challenge he's had to face to actually get to this stage, and unfortunately for the other driver, but it's paid off for him, hasn't
Martin
it? It's paid off for
Cowley
Brady.
just made one mistake. He knew if he didn't make a huge dive into that outer zone of four, that was going to be it. He knew that Nick was going to drive away and he was going to be a dominant lead. Unfortunately for Cowley, the dive just didn't pay off. You can see it here. Look, made the dive absolutely overcooked it. And Nick Brady, you know, drives away with it. So Nick Brady sits with a 10-0 advantage on the first half of the run, but we have seen it. We've seen it go before. We've seen it go the other way. Nick Brady now just needs to put in a sensible chase. He won't. I know he won't.
He can't.
He can't. He just cannot do it. He's going to crash into him. Something's going to happen. They're off the line. Cowley to lead out Brady for a spot in the final. Brady's got one hand on a trophy already. Can he get the other hand firmly on it? both guys initiate. Cowley now flying. Can he try and get some sort of redemption? Nick Brady gives him some room to manoeuvre. He knows if he pushes too hard, he could force himself into an error. Cowley goes nice and deep. In fulfills all the outer zones. Absolutely quality lead line from Martin Cowley, but it's not enough to overturn the spin that he put in on the first run, and Nick Brady takes it across the line. And ladies and gentlemen, we can make it official. Taking the winner, moving through to the final, is Nick Brady. Nick Brady gets the win and advances through to the final. Not the end of the weekend for Martin Cowley. He now gets a shot at 3rd and 4th place, so it's still one opportunity to get on the podium. But he's got to battle someone for that. That's not going to be easy. And
it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting.
But I'm sure he'll give it his all if it means a place on the podium.
Yeah.
He's still got something to play for.
He's still got something to play for. And who that will be, well, we're yet to find out. It will either be Paul Cunnington or Josh King. They get waved forward. And Josh King and Paul Cunnington will be the next pair to battle. Josh King, the higher qualifier, will be in the lead position. Cunnington to give chase. And there he is, Josh King, the madman behind the wheel of that BMW E36. Warms his tyres and looks down that start line and thinks, 2 runs and I could be in the final.
That's all that's standing.
And I've got a trophy. I've got a trophy. Paul Cunnington looked absolutely dreadful in practice this morning. The car didn't look right, he didn't look right, and look where he ends himself up. He ends up now in a place to take a step on the podium as he scrubs the tyres on the back end of that secret performance. S14.5. They get the thumbs up from our track marshals and the thumbs up from our judges. They are off the line. King to lead out Cunnington for a spot in the final. And a lovely initiation from both guys. But Cunnington just absolutely sacrifices tons of line. Look how wide Josh King is. Josh King almost running the wheel off track. Almost contact there on transition from Cunnington and King as they now put foot to floor. And you can see Josh King just taking a small glance out the side glass as he absolutely smashes the limiter and comes across the line. King looking very, very dominant in that lead. So those guys now making their way back to the start line. Those guys make their way back to the start line. It will be now Josh King to lead and Paul Cunnington to give chase. Our start line marshal gets the thumbs up. One more run left in it. Who is going to take the final place in the final? Will it be King? Will it be Cunnington? And Cunnington fires it in. Josh King now, look at this, looking for the back bumper of that secret performance, S14. And look at Josh King all over the side of Cunnington's car as they transition through the middle of the track now. Look at this, King almost making contact with the back end of the car, taking down clipping points. As Josh King makes one last ditch attempt at a dive, but Cunnington sets himself up lovely as they bring it across the line. A little round of applause from their judges. And we await for it to drop in to the scoreboard. And I can confirm, taking the winner, moving through to the final to battle Nick Brady is Josh King. Josh King gets the win and moves through to the final. That means Martin Cowley will do battle with Paul Cunnington for 3rd and 4th place. So Cunnington now will have to make his way back into the hot pits, change his tyres. Martin Cowley would have been prepped and ready to go for the 3rd and 4th place playoff. But Paul Cunnington, after just doing battle with Josh King, will have to, as you can see, just disappear there, go back to the pits, get some tyres, get himself back on the start line. So just been handed a piece of paper, Sarah.
Yeah, we've got some sponsors of the trophies.
Yeah, this year we've got the M-Tech Brakes Podium. And then first, second and third. First place sponsored by Slide Motorsport, the trophy donated by those guys. Second place by OBP Motorsport, and third by Hell. And we've got the Excite Ing driver of the day. So those guys are going to hand out a prize or a trophy to the most flamboyant, exciting driver.
Yeah, that's good.
Who would you give it to, Sarah? If it's your choice right now, who would you give the exciting trophy to?
That is a very difficult decision. I'm quite impressed by Barker.
Really?
Yeah. I know he's not the most flamboyant, but he's been really consistent. I'm very impressed
Yep.
at his driving. Yeah, so for that reason.
Good shout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
good shout.
there's lots of contenders for it, to be fair. It's really
A
difficult.
lot of these guys, they push really, really
do,
hard.
they
They put
do.
everything
There's
on
a
the
lot of
line,
them.
and like I say, they put blood, sweat, and tears, and every single penny they've got into these cars to do what they do. And trust me, I've been there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not easy, and you know what, to see these guys, and when you get knocked out early in competition, or you get so close to getting to the final, and then that's it, you're out. It's just a heartbreaking. But yeah, no, good shout for me. Yeah, that could be the guy. We don't know yet. There's no names on this bit of paper. We don't know yet. We don't know who's finished third, second, or first, because.
Who would you choose for the exciting driver?
Yeah, I'd go with Luke Barker.
You go there?
Yeah, I'd go Barker. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's just because he's just fresh blood coming to the championship,
Yeah,
done
he's-
really well, brought some fun,
Yeah.
brought some excitement.
He's interesting. He's good to watch.
Exactly. He's exciting, so yeah.
Yeah.
So just seeing a drone shot of our judging tower there as it flies around our circuit. Like I say, plenty more to come from our new live feed.
Loving the
live stream
drone
company.
shots.
Drone shots are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm just literally waiting now for Mr. Cunnington and Paul Cowley to make their way to the start line. As soon as those guys get their cars prepped and on the line, we'll be ready to go for the third and fourth place playoff. And then just one battle to go, and we are done and dusted for round one of our Pro-Am competition. And then we do it all again tomorrow.
Can't wait.
All again tomorrow.
Might wear some more layers, though.
You didn't sound too infused. You sounded a little bit cold.
I'm getting a bit cold now, yeah.
Yeah. I'm used to it.
I'm still awake, though, so that's,
still awake.
that's
I'm used to it by
you
now.
need.
I'm really weathered. I'm like Malks. Did you see he took his coat off?
Did he?
He's only in shorts and t-shirt
Honestly.
now.
He's a legend.
He is an absolute legend, you're correct.
I'm not. I need my snowsuit tomorrow, if it's this cold. I'm no good. I know I'm northern, but...
Yeah, I thought you was tougher
I
than
know,
this. I thought you was tougher than
apparently.
this. You're letting the side down.
I know, I'm an absolute wimp with the cold. It's terrible. Do we know what the prize is for this exciting driver of the day,
No.
or is it a secret?
Could be the simulator for all I know. Get to take it home.
Yeah.
I hope not, because I'm going to battle somebody on it. If it's not you, battle someone.
It's great to have that, though, isn't it? Because I know you've got, obviously, the obvious first, second and third place trophies, but that's not to say that other drivers and teams haven't put in an absolutely amazing amount of effort and hard work just as much as the winner has.
Exactly,
So it's nice
exactly
that's recognised.
We used to have a hard charger, so it would be given out to the guy that drove the hardest all weekend, or really just put it all out there, did everything he could. Obviously, Excite come on board and for this season jumped in, sponsored the event, and you know what? And they decided they was going to help out, and they was going to give a trophy. So amazing stuff from our new sponsor, Excite Energy. I'm excited. I want to know what it is.
I know.
Maybe it's like 10 crates of energy drink.
Well, as long as they don't drink it in one go. Can you imagine the driving then?
No. They'd be on their roof, in the crowd. People would be like, what is going on?
Let's feed them all Excite and see what happens.
So almost time to rock and roll, but before we do, just give a quick massive thank you to our sponsors, obviously, because without these guys jumping on board, helping out massively, like I say about Excite, we wouldn't have this live feed. We wouldn't be able to there wouldn't be no contribution for the live feed. So you guys sitting at home now enjoying the live feed wouldn't be able to enjoy it. So massive thank you to Competition Clutch, Semco Sport, Corbeau, M-Tech Brakes, Hill Performance, OBP Motorsport, Funk Motorsport, Slide Motorsport, Tarmac Sports, Simpson Europe, On It, Drift Games, AM Details, Yellow Speed Racing, and obviously Excite Energy. Like I say, those guys coming on board, really helping out this season, and really boosting the championship, doing everything they can to try and help Matt and the team push this in the right direction and the way everyone wants to see it go. And you look at your monitor and we can see Martin Cowley has pulled to the line. He's in that chase position. Paul Cunnington to lead him out the higher qualifier. And off they go for the third and fourth place playoff is on. It will be Cunnington to lead out Cowley. Who's going to take the final step on the podium? We're about to find out right now. And look at this from Cowley. Makes a huge dive onto the side of Cunnington's S14 now. Nice transition through the smoke from Cowley as Cunnington sticks to that nice qualifying line, giving Cowley the opportunity to get nice and personal. Can he keep up with the pace of Cunnington's car right now as Cowley squeezes the accelerator and tags onto the back bumper and across the line? Brilliant stuff. So a quick replay, Sarah. Anything that you see in that you was like,
he just looks
wow,
more confident than he did earlier on.
Paul Cunnington?
Yeah,
the
both
lead
of
car?
them, to be fair. Both of them do. They've really had to battle this afternoon, haven't they, to actually get to this stage and just to see how great that run was.
Yeah, look, for me, to see Paul Cunnington, the first 3 runs he did in practice, he ended up off of clipping point 2 in the grass. And everyone was like, is he all right? Did he have Weetabix this morning? Did he have a breakfast? Does he need a drink? And now to see him battling for third and fourth place, like do you know what? He must have had a stern word of himself.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? At lunchtime,
he's like,
a little pep talk.
Sort it out.
Yeah.
So on the line, Martin Cowley now sits in lead position. Cunnington to give chase. This is for third and fourth place. We won't announce the winner. That will be done on the podium, so don't go anywhere after the event. As Cunnington now starts to apply the pressure, Cowley desperate for a step on that podium. Look at Cunnington though as he fires that car onto the door. Cowley nice and wide, just dropping a wheel. Cunnington's right with him though, still on the back bumper of that S14 now as they now shift up and start to find the power and the grip as Cunnington tries to dive onto the door and just about gains enough proximity as they come across the finish line. Brilliant stuff. So Paul Cunnington and Martin Cowley there going to town, doing the business.
This has got to be another tough call.
Very, very tough call. Very, very good drive. Not many mistakes from either guys. Both guys pushing really, really hard. It's going to be close.
It is.
Very, very close.
Yeah,
so I'm just going to
take
take a quick look over to our judges. Do we have a decision? And ladies and gentlemen, we do have a decision. So that means only one thing. There's only one battle to go, Teeside Autodrome, and then you can go home, have a warm bath, get a nice warm cup of tea, and think about exactly what happened today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our final, is making its way to the line. Teeside, are you ready for the final battle of your pro-am competition? That's not good enough.
No,
it's not good enough, is it, Sarah? It's not good enough.
Far too quiet.
I know it's cold, and we're all cold. Listen, everyone on your feet. Everyone's sitting down, the blankets around your lap. Come on your feet. Just 2 runs to go. I'm going to stand up as well, make this a little bit more entertaining for you guys. Everyone stand up. Come on your feet. People are like, no chance, mate. It's freezing out here.
We've got a few stood up there.
They've got a blanket. She's like, look, there's a few stood up. This is the final. Teeside, are you ready for the final battle of your pro-am competition? That's what I'm talking about. Toby, let's get it underway. On the line, Josh King to lead out Nick Brady for the final battle of your round 1 Pro-Am competition. Here we go. Look at Slick Nick all over the back bumper of Josh King's E36. King pops a wheel in the air again. Nice transition back, but Slick Nick hasn't got the answer. Look at the pace that Nick is carrying. He drops a wheel on the edge of the circuit. Has to correct. Massive error there from Slick Nick, but he finds the door once again of Josh King's E36. King back on the power. Oh, but a wobble from Nick Brady. And Nick Brady now needs to find it. That form he's had all day as King takes it across the line. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. Wow, what a battle there from those guys. As we see Nick Brady absolutely flying. Look at this. Look at the pop in the wheel in the air from Josh King's car. It's just the coolest thing I've seen all weekend. Look at the pace, though. You can see Nick Brady takes out the clipping point cone, drops a wheel, has to bail out of it, and makes a massive mistake. He does the same again Looks like maybe he has a gear shift issue as he shifts up. Look at this, big straight, and stays in it, but that's going to massively mark him down. The judges, you know, talking about this one already, deliberating what's going on. Those guys making their way back to the start line. You can see King and Brady are ready to do battle. Ladies and gentlemen, once this run is done, if our judges have a decision, we're going to invite everybody here at Teeside Autodrome to come down onto the track in front of the tower where me and Sarah and the judges are standing right now. Well, that is where we're going to do our podium. We invite everybody down to come down, see the cars, see the drivers, get involved with the champagne. Those guys are going to be popping some bottles soon. But first of all, we need to release them. Are the judges ready to send them for the final run of the day? Potentially. Could be a one more time. Who knows? Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. There's a final run of the day. Josh King pulls to the line. Nick Brady ready to lead him out. Can Josh King do the deal and get it done? He looks like the stronger contender right now. They sit on the line. They get the thumbs up. Make some noise for the final run of the day. Brady off the line. King giving him some room to manoeuvre as King fires that car in. Look at this, King and Brady transition through clipping point 3. Now Brady looks settled, but Josh King gives him some room to manoeuvre now as they come through into outer zone 4. Josh King now starts to make the dive in the door. Almost contact from King as he washes very wide. Nick Brady puts foot to floor. No mistakes this time as Josh King hunts down the back of that Jason's Metals R33 Nissan Skyline. Make some noise, Teeside! Sarah, I do believe it's done.
What a day.
What a day.
I can't believe it's
We need to
over
find
already.
out, judges, do we have a decision? Yes, we do. Sarah, I'm going to go down to the podium. Oh, we're going to do it up here. We're going to do it up here, so we get to stand up here and do it. This is new. This is all new. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are still here in attendance, if you are not going to rush off at home, don't forget to make your way down onto the circuit in front of the judging tower. We're going to bring all of our top 4 finishers down in front of the tower to receive their trophies. What time does live feed start tomorrow? 11:45 again. So don't forget, guys, if you're in attendance and you're thinking, you know what, I'm going to come back tomorrow, Sarah, or if you're watching at home right now live, we are live tomorrow at 11:45 with our pro qualifying top 24 tomorrow. Not a simple task. 40 drivers whittled down to 24. Those 24 battle for a top 16. The top 8 qualifiers automatically go into the top 16. It's a bit technical. I'm going to blow your mind with it. It's been a long day for you already. You've been an amazing host already. I know it's very cold and you're a little bit fried. An overload of information, but well done.
I'm absorbing it all.
Well done for sticking at it, and you've been absolutely phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming down and enjoying the day. Don't forget, tickets on sale on the gate all day tomorrow and still online. Get yourself down. Live DJ in the house tomorrow.
Live DJ.
Plus our little
trade village
going on. You're going to be
racing
mad not to
simulators.
miss it.
Yeah,
Sims, the lot.
everything's going on.
It's going to be an absolutely brilliant day. As you can see our drivers out of the car there congratulating and meeting each other. So I'm just waiting to get the signal from somebody that I can read out who is our 3rd and 4th place. As soon as I get a signal that I'm ready to give out some trophies, as soon as I get a signal that I'm ready to give it out, we're going to give out some trophies. And these guys are going to spray some champagne. Don't forget, join us back here tomorrow for round 1 pro competition. Things are going to be heating up. Certainly Sarah, because she's freezing today.
Yeah, more layers for me tomorrow. It's worth it though, isn't it?
It's worth it.
It's worth
right?
it to see all this.
It's motorsport.
Yeah.
Stood in the rain, been freezing cold.
It's part of the fun.
It's part of the fun.
Yeah,
it's part of the
adventure.
fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are just getting ourselves prepared, ready for the podium, and as soon as we get the all clear, we will be handing out some trophies and spraying some champagne.
Look at that drone shot.
It's amazing. That drone shot is just like so good. Modern technology.
Modern technology.
Modern technology.
I keep seeing
Blessed,
it whizzing past the tower.
yeah, looking at us like, oh, blessed. That's what we are. So, are we ready to do this yet? Can we do this? Can we do this yet? Don't know at the moment. So it does look like we are ready to go, and the first trophy of the day that we are going to hand out will be our Excite driver of the day. Ladies and gentlemen in attendance, give a huge round of applause to our Excite driver of the day. That will be Luke Barker, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a huge round of applause. What a guy, absolutely flying all day. I know me and you were like, this guy is just going to be something special. Luke Barker, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely brilliant. Someone to keep your eyes on. This kid is going to be special.
Yes.
You know, very, very soon.
Definitely one to watch.
Luke Barker, ladies and gentlemen, takes our Excite driver of the day. So that means we need to hand out the second and third place trophies right now. Our third place trophy sponsored by Hell Performance, ladies and gentlemen. And taking that trophy and taking the third step on the podium, ladies and gentlemen, give it up and make some noise. For Martin Cowley, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute huge congratulations to Paul Cunnington. Paul Cunnington drove the absolute wheels off that car, but Martin Cowley, you take third step on the podium. A well-deserved drive, flawless all day. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause, Martin Cowley. So that means just 2 left to go. And these 2 guys battled hard. They fought tooth and nail for these spots. And I can confirm taking second place on the podium and taking the OBP Motorsport Trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Nick Brady! That means, ladies and gentlemen, taking the first place trophy and the Slide Motorsport Trophy home. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for your Pro-Am Round 1 winner, Josh King! Ladies and gentlemen, from me, a very cold and tired Sarah, our judges and everybody else, I want to say a huge thank you. We will be back tomorrow at 11:45 here for our pro competition at BDC Round 1 2019 from Teeside Autodrome. From me and Sarah, it's good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.